Well, good evening, guys. How you doing? How's everybody? Every week, guys, every week, Art comes into the panel just about the time I start. So I'm watching a tiny little thumbnail of Art down there, and he tries his best to distract me. And he does. So thanks a lot, Art. I guess I have to bring you in. There he is.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
How you doing, buddy?
Yep.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Hold on a second, Art. Yeah, Kelly, I sent out the emails about a half an hour ago.
Yep.
Kelly has got a little something we're going to help him with tonight. Kelly Shore. So I'll tell you what, if you bear with me, Art. Well, I got it right here.
Okay.
Let's see here. I need to go and copy the link, and I need to go to my Gmail, and I need to send a letter to Kelly.
Hello, Roosevelt.
Yeah, say hello to the people while I'm doing this.
And I want to say hi to Jay Bird, Builder 710.
There we go. Okay, and yeah, I saw Jody, and I don't know why it's not showing up here now, Jody, because you did get the glory. Yeah, you did get the glory by actually being the first person to post in the chat around noon today. But then when I reopened it all up, getting closer to the time to go on, I see that Rick Halber showed up at 6:27. And I just wanted you to know, Rick, that Jody really was the first, and you were, and then I think you came in also real early at the same time, way back when I first put it up. So anyway, you two guys are champs. Say hi to Agent K is here. How you doing? Say hi to Kelly. Ready, set, drone.
Hey, Kelly.
Howdy. 2 nights in a row.
Yep.
Hey, hi.
Good to see you guys.
Art, same shirt too. See.
Art,
me? No, Art's got the same.
That's been my show earlier today.
Yep.
With former Congressman Thaddeus McCotter.
Nice. Why is he a
He's something.
former congressman?
Well, he's no longer a congressman. That's why he's former.
Oh. Oh,
He,
okay.
I don't think that.
he had
I
this
don't think
thing
that's
where
what
he
he
ran
meant.
for president. You know.
No, I mean, what is he doing now? Is he a drone pilot or something?
I think he's doing a lot of conservative publications, writing articles and so forth.
All right.
Thank you, Bill. Metro Drones, $10
Yeah.
super chat. Thank you,
Hey,
my man.
Bill.
I
Hey,
appreciate
Bill.
that. And we got Builder 710 in the house here. Roosevelt's here. Fly Natural. Hi, Roosevelt. How you doing?
AZ drone
You
dude.
feel right at home here, Kelly, don't you? It's the same crowd.
Yep. No, we got some reliable folks that
Drone
that hop
Shots,
on
Bob
regularly.
Casey.
Yep.
Bob Casey's here. My buddy Jay Bird. How you doing?
So is Drone Shots Jody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I hear Jody a lot, and I have I couldn't put two and two together until now, so that's good to know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Jody, you know how when you post a video and schedule it for later, you can actually go into the video and the chat room's already there. I don't know
Yeah.
if you do. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, Jody is always comes in immediately. I mean, it's like he's the minute I post my video and the notification goes out, Jody is saying hi, Mitch, in the chat room. So
He must get an alert.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's a great
good
subscriber
supporter.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We appreciate that. So
Hey, I got my Autel Evo today.
Oh,
Love it.
nice. Nice.
Yep.
Have you flown it?
Yeah, we flew it out back and flew around the playground, and yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so you met up with Sean earlier.
Yes, Sean came
Nice.
over, and after my Sunday show, we went out back and fly because he couldn't stay long because he had to drive all the way back up to Dillon. There was a major wreck on the highway on the
Oh, no.
way down, and he was really late. So
Well, I'm glad you got the Evo. I actually flew that actual drone one time. I met up with him at his dad's place in Texas and flew his Evo, and it actually I was impressed by it. It's very fast, and
it
the
is.
picture quality is really good. I think the
And-
camera's probably a little better than the Mavic Air,
Oh,
the
yeah.
original Mavic Air.
And the cool thing about it, it has its own LCD screen on it, so you don't need.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You
Yeah.
can fly it without a phone, which is really
Yeah.
nice.
Uh-huh.
how's the picture quality? Can you actually see the camera image on that screen?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's as I recall, again, only one time flying it, but it's a pretty sharp, high resolution screen built
Yep.
into the remote.
Mhm.
Well,
Yep.
that's cool.
I don't think it's a
Speaking of
touch screen, is it?
I
Speaking
don't
of
think
smart,
it is.
Kelly. Speaking of smart and high resolution, here's Rick Halber.
Hey, two things I wouldn't mind being called: smart and high resolution.
How you doing, Kelly?
Hey, Rick, good to see you, man.
I didn't mean to
my-
interrupt you, Kelly, but I couldn't. The segue was right there, and I couldn't let it go by.
Smart and high resolution. Did
Yes.
my package arrive, Rick?
Yeah, I sent you an email on it, I believe.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've been off email for the weekend. So my wife and kids have been out of town, and
Ooh.
I kind of made a mess in the house, so I've been cleaning up all day today.
I know how that is.
Yeah, definitely. So,
Yeah,
but
take
good to see you.
advantage of it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, nice to meet you.
I mean, actually, here I'll just show you. You see all the
Oh boy.
like
yeah.
like batteries and that's the kitchen, right? That would never fly normally. So
I
I've
feel right
been
at home.
I've been charging batteries and pulling old batteries. Like, as a matter of fact, I'd be curious, Mitch, what you do with your old lipos. I have a whole box of old lipos that are bloated, and I discharge them all on my Tenergy charger. Like, I put them all down to discharge mode, so that
Yeah.
they would. But I know, like, the AMA field here has a bin that you can put them in, and they'll dispose of them. Any other suggestions on how to get rid of them?
there's a number of different ways. If you just discharge the hell out of it, and when you get it down to where your charger says it's completely discharged.
Yep, I've done that.
I use this as a smoke stopper. You know what they are?
No,
You build them. It's called a smoke stopper.
Okay.
And what it's designed for is when it has a light bulb in line with the positive lead. And what happens is if you just get a direct short across the two, it lights the light bulb instead of burning out your flight controller. So when you first build a flight controller or do something where you've soldered on it and you want to make sure there's no shorts. Another good use for a smoke stopper is because it's got this light bulb here. If you you got the props on your quad and you just want to plug it into Betaflight for a second and plug in the battery, but that's dangerous, to do that in the house.
Right.
Put the smoke stopper on it, because what'll happen is as soon as those motors start to draw enough current to actually do anything, the light bulb will come on and suck the voltage down, and you pretty much can't hurt yourself. So what I do is I take this and I just short it across what I consider a dead battery and let it go dead completely until the light bulb goes out. Now once that happens, they say you can just throw them in the trash can. If they don't have any, if they're completely dead, I also cut the connectors off of them.
Right.
Strip the ends of the wires and twist them together, and that definitely guarantees that thing has got no energy in it whatsoever, and it's completely
So you think
dead.
once that so actually, I don't know if you saw, I did a video a while back about this thing called the Phantom Angel. It's designed specifically for the Phantom or the Mavic. It's it connects to DJI batteries, but it's the same principle. It's a light bulb and it runs it down to a certain voltage. So it sounds like it's a fancier version of your smoke stopper.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. Rick's got it right there. Nice.
Rick's got everything. Listen, Rick is actually living upstairs over a hobby shop. We don't realize it. But.
The Phantom Angel, that thing will do exactly that. It'll put it to discharge. It will also put it to a storage place. Hold on, let me grab my box of batteries. I want to show you how many I have. It's a lot.
Oh, okay. And while you're doing that, let's welcome in somebody that hasn't been here in a long, long time, Mr. Fly Natural.
Hey,
Rosie, how you doing, buddy?
how you doing, buddy?
Good to see you. Here, let me
These
make
are all
everybody
my bit the dust batteries. I don't know. There's probably about 20 in there.
The question is, Kelly, why have they all bit the dust like that?
Mostly because I stored them all, stored some of them charged, kept them in a hot garage. Lots of abuse. So one of the things I've done is I have another bin of batteries that I've run through the charger and put it at storage voltage.
Yeah.
And I'm going to keep them inside. So basically,
keep them always keep them inside. If you a couple days. My rule of thumb is 2 days. If I charge up a battery today and say I'm going flying this afternoon, and then I don't get done, and I say, well, I'm going to go out first thing in the morning, and then by the end of tomorrow, if I haven't flown, I'll put those batteries back into storage. It's no big deal.
It'll keep them keep them all lasting longer. Hey, Rose, good to see you.
Hey, Kelly.
Another thing you can do with them is any of these battery stores, like Batteries Plus or those places. They'll take them right off your hands. You just take them in there in a big box and hand them to them.
Roosevelt said Best Buy will take them too. So
Best Buy.
Charged or discharged, it doesn't matter. So if you don't want to go through all that work of discharging them, just take them all, dump them in.
Well,
there.
I figure it's safer that way. What I don't want to do is put them in my trash can. And this is a good lesson for everybody watching. You don't want to throw them away with a charge and then have the garbage truck compact them and start a fire, right? I mean, that would not be good for anybody. So.
Send them to Ken Herron.
He'll shoot him with a gun.
Yeah, that's
it'd be great to take your Mavic up and film that flaming garbage truck as it's driving down the street.
There you go.
Right, watching my tax dollars at work. Why are taxes so high? Because people keep throwing away lipos with a full charge.
Nah, and then some guys will say, just put this is something Ken would do. Just take it out in the backyard and shoot it with a gun,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
or nail some nails in it and run like hell while it goes up in flames.
Yeah.
So, Rick, you got your simulator actually loaded on your computer,
Yeah, I finally got that working.
and you sent me an email about that. Did you actually get that little receiver dongle thing?
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay, you don't need that. You can just, you can plug it in.
So I didn't have to have a cord hanging around.
Yeah, okay. So
Which
you know how to
which
set
sim
that?
which sim are you going to fly, Rick?
So, lots of drone, and I have the one that the GSL or DRL or
DRL one. Nice, nice.
I've got that too.
You guys have probably seen Felix with Quadcopter Guide. He's been on my show a few times. He and I, on Sundays, he's doing a sim meetup now he uses Liftoff, which I hadn't really tried much, but I flew Liftoff twice now, and he had 4 people on with us, and it was fun. It's basically like watching a gaming channel. You know, these guys that play games and everybody watches. We were all racing on the sim, and then everybody was watching us, so it was cool.
Well, Liftoff, I think I haven't tried that one yet. I'm sure it's pretty good. I kind of took Mr. Steele's advice way back.
Was that Velocidrone?
Got Velocidrone, yeah, and I think it's actually pretty realistic. So I like Velocidrone, and it's. I figure if I recommend what Steele recommends, I can't go wrong.
See the T-shirt there? You
Yeah.
guys recognize the old school?
Oh,
Remember?
Oh yeah.
oh
Yeah.
Remember the
yeah.
cartoon?
Speed Racer. Yeah.
Right. That's right.
Now it's Drone Racer.
Drone racer.
Chris Hope is in the chat.
How did you get that
doing,
made,
Chris?
Kelly?
Somebody that works with me designed it for me, and I just sent it to Teespring, and they made it.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you can order this, you can actually order this from where the little T-shirt things come up on the bottom of. So I have one. This is one of the shirts on my site. So it's original. He took the Speed Racer thing and just made it into a drone.
Oh, okay.
So Chris is in the house.
Chris
Mr. Hope?
Hope's in the house.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
big
trying
brother.
to keep up with the chat here. Mike B is in the house, aka the Drone Ranger.
Drone Ranger.
And,
I started my day with Chris Hope this morning, and now I'm finishing my day with Chris Hope. That's nice.
Yeah, Chris is around.
Yeah. We should
all right, so
all
let's
have
do
hope
some-
in your day.
Let's do something technical. Who wants to go first? Kelly, your problem or Rick's problem?
I
Well,
feel like
we
mine's
take
probably going to
Kelly.
take the longest. So Rick, you
Yeah,
can go
go ahead
first.
with Kelly. I don't know.
Are you sure?
It doesn't matter.
No,
Yeah,
you
go
go.
ahead,
No,
Kelly.
you go.
We're trying to out nice each other.
Hey, Rick, have you tried just plugging your which are you going to use the T18 or the T60? Which radio are you going to use with
I got the
simulator?
T18.
Okay. Have you just tried plugging it into the computer and just seeing if it'll work with the simulator because you want to make sure you do that before you put in that receiver dongle.
Right.
Because then if you have a problem, you won't know if it's the radio or the receiver dongle. So let's eliminate one of those first.
There's nothing set up on the radio at all.
It actually doesn't matter.
I wasn't sure if we needed to set up.
Well, it should
You
have.
don't need
it
a
should-
drone hookup?
Well, you can, but it should have one model on it when it comes out of the box. It should say like Model 1
Are you on a Mac or a PC, Rick? Are you on a PC?
PC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So for me, I plugged in a Tyrannus, a FR Sky Tyrannus, and on my iMac, it worked straight out of the box. I just plugged it in and it recognized it. On my son's PC, I feel like we had to download a driver or something to make it work.
Yeah. I think
Yep.
Rick's already got the drivers, but we're talking
does,
about
okay.
the radio
jumper.
and what they sell. They sell a little dongle that acts like a receiver.
Oh,
And
is
you
it a
plug
USB?
that in.
Plugs in
Yeah.
via USB?
And then you bind that dongle to the radio just like you would bind a drone.
Oh.
And then you can fly your simulator without a wire.
Wow.
So what I was suggesting, Rick,
So it's not-
what I was suggesting, Rick, is do this.
Okay.
Get a wire, get a USB-C cord,
All right, I got
plug
this
it-
one.
plug it in to the turn your transmitter on first.
Turn it on.
Turn it on. Yeah.
Did you turn it to W for Wumbo?
Okay. Now plug the radio into the PC. Use the top USB port, because the bottom, yeah, that port right there.
I know you guys are kind of older, so I don't know if you get that reference or not.
The
No, I
Wumbo?
didn't. What's a Wumbo?
Kelly might know because he has kids, so.
No, you lost me on that. I thought it was a funny word, but no.
It's
Explain that to us.
Oh,
Oh, SpongeBob. No, I don't.
There was an episode on SpongeBob where Patrick and SpongeBob were using a
Need a
compass,
different cable.
and
Okay,
Patrick told
Rick.
SpongeBob, "Hey, did you try switching it to W for Wumbo?"
and he never says what it is?
It just west. They were using a compass, and he was like, "Switch it to W for Wumbo."
I always
It was
talk about
funny.
the ONOFF switch. Did you try the ONOFF switch?
Oh, I know.
I don't
That
know that
reminds
one.
me-
Am I too young for that?
Yeah.
Say it slow. ONOFF.
OFF.
On-off switch.
Off, on and off.
There's Kelly. There's a little city, a little town just south of Bradenton, Florida. It's called Oneco, and it's an Indian name. Oneco. Okay. So I was asked. I'd never been down that way, and I was asking directions through there, and somebody actually told me to find the town One Company.
ONECO.
Yeah,
One
seriously,
Co.
and that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just One Company. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like that. What is it? The old an ID10T. You know what that is?
Oh yeah.
ID10P.
ID10T.
Identity?
No, ID10T. Picture it written out.
Enter.
ITEN.
No, 10. The number 10. ID, the number 10, and a T.
I am so
Spells idiot. Spells
Yeah.
idiot. So,
well. There you go. I failed the test, or I passed
when
it,
we were-
depending on how
when
you
we
look at
were-
it.
when we were, well, you're under pressure. You're live on TV. When
That's
we were
right.
in the Army, when we were in the Army, guys, back in when I was stationed in Turkey in the 60s, I was in electronics maintenance. And when the new guys came in, of course, we always had pranks we played on them. And one of them was we would send them to the supply room to get and ask for a 1D10T, and they would fall for it every time. And nobody ever. A bottle of BFO pitch. I don't know if you know what that means. If you're into ham radio, we'd send them for a bottle of a left-handed adjustable wrench, a metric crescent wrench, all kinds of strange things. You know.
All right. Well,
Leslie
all right,
had
Rick,
one.
so-
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All right.
all right, Rick. So what do we got? You got it plugged in?
It says USB joystick or USB storage.
Select the joystick.
Welcome to OpenTX.
Okay.
I got one,
And then which button do I need to hit?
What's that?
It's highlighted at the joystick, but I don't know.
Okay, here we go, Rick. That's why we're here. That's why we're
Yeah.
here. We're gonna make me big. We're gonna go over to
We're gonna blow
here,
things up.
and we're gonna blow it up, and I'm gonna show you exactly what to do. All right, so you have the same buttons on your radio that I do. You got a roller here. Okay.
I believe so. Everything's the same except you have two power buttons.
Yeah, but I mean, it's what we're going to do here is the same.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug my thing into my computer. If my whole stream goes to hell, I'll see you guys next week. But every time in the middle of doing all this stuff, when I plug things into the computer, okay. So now I've got the same. I've got the same thing that you do.
Right.
Okay, so if you roll the roller, you'll see that the red goes from one to the other. See?
Yep. Uh-huh.
Well, the one that is highlighted in red is the one you're selecting. So
Okay.
highlight that and then push the roller straight down.
Okay.
Did your computer go ding like a USB?
Yes, it did. Either mine did or yours
Okay.
did.
All right, so now what I want you to do is I want you to launch Velocidrone.
Mitch, you're so smart.
Thank you. Thank you.
This might be getting difficult here.
I
And
feel
we're,
like an
we're gonna
idiot
we're gonna
now.
hear the sound of Rick's first crash.
That's we've been Kelly. We've been working at this for how long, Rick, to get to this point?
Oh, yeah,
excited.
at least a month.
Yeah.
Well, it is frustrating at first. The sim can be frustrating. Give it an hour. Just spend 1 hour on it. Keep doing the same thing over and over until you get it. Even just getting up, hovering, like kind of getting it to where you can move around. I remember the first course I tried. I think it took me forever to actually make a full lap. It was like 7 minutes to make the full lap, and now I can do it in under a minute. And that's just practice. That doesn't mean
Well, you're practicing racing now. Why mine is taking so long to load? I'll never. There it goes. Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Rick, are you at this screen that you see? You are. Go down here
Right now, I don't see.
on your computer.
Right now, it's still trying to load.
Okay, it takes the new version of this is a hog. It takes.
Does it
forever
load a
to
bunch of tracks, like preload a bunch of tracks for you?
Whatever it loads, it just takes. And I got a fast computer here. It just takes It takes 3 times as long as the original version, but it does load. And while it's loading, Rick, look at my screen. See down here in the lower left where it says controller. See, it says multiplayer single.
And I
you
had
show
tried it
your-
earlier, and it popped right up. But now it's going back and reloading everything again.
Well, you didn't. Did you click the? Oh, I know what you did. You clicked the installation program, Rick.
Oh yeah, you might be reinstalling it.
You're trying to reinstall it. So see if you can cancel that out. Because what you need to do at Velocidrone, since it's not a program, is you need to actually go into the folder where it is, find the application, make a shortcut of that, and then throw it on your
I had
screen.
the shortcut on. Yeah, I had that on my laptop. Or
Now,
on the screen.
Is it on Steam or is it on one? Is it on Steam or,
No,
or is it just its own program?
Completely. It's its own app. And
Okay.
what you have is you have a folder that says Velocidrone Windows Launcher. In that folder, you have a folder that says App. And in that folder where it says App, you have a thing that says Velocidrone Exec. And that's what you have to run.
The EXE.
Yeah. So you make a shortcut of the
Let me
EXE.
try this.
and
Let me try it again.
The ONOFF.
you don't have a screen. You can't share your screen there, can you, Rick?
Let me get back in here. This is where my problem is because I don't really know how to get around on this stuff. Share screen.
Can you share screen through StreamYard?
StreamYard. Yeah, you can.
That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying
Yeah,
to share
right,
screen.
right down in the bottom of your window, it says mute, stop, cam mic, and then share screen.
I forget all you guys are on actual computers.
Yeah, and it's a little rough to do on cell phones. This, if you look at the StreamYard's window here, Rick, look up at the screen.
I can't even
See
see
the
the screen.
Oh,
Let's
because you
see.
got Velocidrone. Is Velocidrone? What's it doing?
I'm not sure what anything is doing right now.
Oh no.
1 second here. Let me get back to
It's
where
fun.
I
It's
was.
funny seeing myself like 3 times on one screen.
Oh. Well, what you're looking at in my screen is my big center main screen, and this window right up here is where I'm looking at, is where I'm controlling all the StreamYard stuff. So if I were to push this button here, see what's happened?
Oh,
Now-
okay.
Now I'm in here. If I push this button, it's just me. This button makes us fill up the whole screen. This button gives us all full width. This button makes my screen bigger and the rest of you guys on the side. And down here
Hey,
is
Mitch?
my green room. Yeah.
Go ahead and take Kelly's and work on that. And I'm gonna let this open up.
Okay.
That
All
way
right,
we
you-
can we'll get some stuff done.
we'll get there, Kelly. All right. So Kelly has got. Show us your old. You got your old drone there.
The Furious 215 Walkera. It's a really nicely built drone. It's got LEDs integrated into it. It's got really easily adjustable camera. Now I don't think this is a run cam, but it's still okay. It's got a spot for a GoPro up here.
Cool.
Got the XT60 connector here in the back, so easy for cable management. So you don't end up hitting the cables with your props. I like it a lot. So
Where'd you get it? Where'd you get it? Where'd you get it?
It was sent to me. This was when I was getting a lot of review drones from different. So Walkera sent it to me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And so I did a review of it back in 2017, and I did some test flights with it. It was good. And at the time it used Clean Flight, and I had Clean Flight installed. But now I don't have Clean Flight installed, and I need to plug it into Beta Flight, and it says no bueno.
Okay. So the first thing,
So I got my cable here.
right now, do you have the name of the flight controller?
Yeah, I do.
The target.
I actually, so if I can screen, actually have the manual. Remember RTFM? I have the FM right here.
Oh, okay.
So that was, I thought that was another military thing. That's what my dad told me. RTFM. Anyway, what I can do if I screen share with you, I can open it in Beta Flight, and I can do a dump, and I can show you what all it says.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and share your screen, and I will.
Mitch, your monkey's to the right of you now.
I can.
He can't control his monkey.
He moves around a lot. What can I tell you?
He can't. That monkey is just.
The monkey's got a mind of its own. Here,
As he should.
Let me. You say he's on the right, huh?
Yeah. We can
All right.
kind of see
Watch
your
this. Now
your
watch
desk
this.
behind you.
Watch this.
There he is.
Have
He's
a-
back in his corner.
Now he's back there. He's good. I got him trained. When I snap my fingers, he goes back to his corner.
So are you seeing my screen?
No, I haven't seen it come up in my green room yet.
Oh,
If you say
application
share,
window,
if you
Beta
say
Flight.
share,
Yeah, I got it now.
There you go. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so you can see I just did a dump in the CLI,
Wait a
and
minute. I gotta make it bigger here.
and I think this is the flight controller here. This SP Racing F3.
Where? What the hell happened to your screen? Here it is. This is the one, but I don't see it in here. Add
You don't
to
see my screen?
There it is. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I ran a dump in the CLI,
And just all I'm interested in is the top line. But before we do anything else, in the lower right-hand corner it says Save to File. See it? Click that.
Save it to a text file.
Yeah, just click Save to File and then put it on your desktop. And just don't worry, the name of the file will be the date, the time, and
Yeah,
all that
I'm just
stuff.
changing it to the drone's name because I've done
Okay.
this so I can make sure it's not.
So,
confused.
because we're going to wipe that out, and if we need to find something else in that,
we can put
it's
it
a good
back
idea.
in. Okay.
Yeah, or you can go there and reference it, figure out
Oh, yeah.
what it
Okay.
has.
I'll put this on the desktop.
Now, did you do a dump or a diff to get that
Dump.
file?
Dump.
Okay, you could, better. That's probably a good idea because we don't know what the defaults were on Clean Flight. But I don't know if you know what the difference is, Kelly. But a dump just gives you virtually every setting.
Yeah, that's my one trick. I'm a one-trick pony, so I know how to do the dump to get that. What's the diff
Well,
for?
the diff. because every target of Betaflight comes with default settings. In other words, this is what they think is probably the best setting to start
Right.
with. And the diff it means different. It only shows you settings that you changed from the defaults,
Ah, okay.
which is much easier to deal with because
It's not as long,
when-
not as many things.
it's not 1/100th as many.
Well, there's actually there would be nothing on this one because I haven't changed any. I've never. All I did when I reviewed it was I recall. I mean, this was 2017, right? So I put it into Clean Flight, just kind of showed the controller working, set the ranges and the rates, and then that was it. I didn't change anything else.
Okay, now read. I'm trying to look at it's very small on my screen. The
Yep.
top line where it says version or target.
Yeah, Clean Flight SP Racing F3 1.14.2 March 23rd, 2017.
Okay. Let me open a copy of Betaflight here on my computer.
Okay.
Just clicked the wrong. I just clicked Velocidrone. So that's
Hey,
gonna take
Jay
a moment.
Santiago.
Howdy, Jay. Good to see you.
All right, Betaflight and all right, so I got Betaflight, and I want to go into firmware flasher, and I want to look at the target. So tell me the name of that target.
That is. So it is SP Racing, all caps, F3 1.14.2.
Speedy SP Racing
F3.
F3 MQ. Did you say
Foxtrot 3. No, there's no MQ.
Foxtrot 3? Okay, yeah, I see it. Okay, there is a Betaflight. There is a Betaflight.
Yeah. No, I found
target
it.
for
I actually tried to do this the other day, and it just kept giving me errors. So
Okay, here's what you do.
Okay.
I'm gonna remove your screen from there. I'm gonna make me big.
okay.
Do you know what DFU means?
No.
DFU. For if
Dude,
you, if,
FU.
art is. I was going to say everybody's name. You can close your screen share if you want, Kelly.
Okay.
I knew Art's mind was going there right away, but DFU means device.
Mine did too.
Yeah, everybody did. Device firmware update. That's what
okay.
DFU means. And every device that has firmware generally has a way to get into what they call DFU mode. On a radio, you've probably heard this, didn't realize it. They tell you hold the two trim switches in and power on. And that puts you
Yep.
immediately in device firmware, DFU mode. Well,
Yep.
all flight controllers have a button on them, which is a boot button.
Okay.
Do you have a little button on your flight controller?
Well, I'm sure I do.
Well, if it isn't a button, it might be two pads that need to be shorted together.
There is a button out here. It's a white one.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's the bind button.
There's no bind button. I'm talking about on the flight controller, not the receiver, but on the flight controller. Here, I'm going to show you a flight controller here. Let me go to this. And let
You think
me
it's going to be
zoom.
inside there somewhere?
Well, this is what your flight controller looks like right here. It looks like it's something like this. Underneath the flight. Now, do you have ESCs on the arms, or is the ESC?
The ESCs are on the arms. They're
Okay.
they're right there.
Okay, so there's a board that has a lot of crap soldered to it.
Yeah. That's and it has the USB port where I'm
That's the
connected
flight.
to
Yeah,
it.
right.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
if you notice on this board here.
Yeah, that's where
see
the
that-
white button is on the
Well,
side of
okay. That's the boot button.
Okay.
So what you're going to want to do, Kelly, is you're going to want to hold the button down,
and plug the battery in.
and then plug the USB port in.
Oh, okay. So just I don't need to worry about a battery, just the USB port.
No, because the USB, the computer will actually power
Right,
the whole
right.
mess.
And then I don't have to worry about taking the props off if I don't put a battery
right,
on.
so
all right,
what
so
I wanted-
I'm holding the boot button down, and I just here I go plugging in the
Plug it in.
Plug it in. Plug it in.
Now I'm trying to find what did I
All right,
do.
and then I let go of the boot button.
Let go of the
after.
boot button. Now you want to go look at your beta flight,
Okay.
and it should say right up in the upper corner here. Where it says the port, where it tells you what port it is.
Yeah, USB to UART.
No, up here, there's a button. This is beta flight. It says connect, firmware update. Then there's a couple of drop downs, and it's going to say port. Here it says manual selection, but
Yeah.
That's 'cause-
So currently mine is set to dev/cu.slab_USB to UART.
ugh, the hell is that? Okay, now what version of the beta flight configurator do you have?
I have version. Where does it say? Oh, here it is. 10.7.0.
Okay, that's even newer than mine. I got 10.6. Okay, so with that plugged in, now what I'm trying to figure out is what.
But now here's the thing: when I plugged my USB into my drone again, I'm not getting any lights or anything. Let me try this again. I'm going to hold the button down, the boot button, plug it in, and then let go of the boot button.
Does
Yeah,
anything
No, I'm not getting anything now.
no lights or no nothing? Huh?
Before I was.
Is the other end of that wire plugged into your computer?
It is. Oh, so now when I plug it in without holding the button down, now I'm getting a light. So let's see. It says non-beta flight firmware is not supported except in CLI
Right.
mode.
Great. But does it say DFU up top?
No. It says data flash free space, enable expert mode. Do I need to be in expert mode for this?
No. No, that has nothing. That just opens up, gives
All
you
right.
some more
Let me
menu
let me
items.
disconnect again and try to
Disconnect.
maybe that's not actually the boot button. I mean, it's this little white
Well-
button on my flight controller.
What I'm hoping that you can see up here in the it's right under where it says ScreenYard, but right up at the top here.
Art's right under where it says ScreenYard.
It says DF. No,
Oh,
it's right to the left
there it
of
is.
where the StreamYard logo is. It says
Yep.
DFU. See that little DFU?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Now, if I unplug my flight controller and plug it back in without hitting the boot button, now it says COM6. See?
Yeah, I'm not
It says
getting,
COM6.
I'm in that same drop down and I'm not getting excuse me, I'm not getting DFU as an option.
Even when you hold the button down,
Yep. Even and
It's on
and, and maybe it's the wrong button. Maybe the boot. Maybe I need
There's-
to take this top plate off.
Yeah, can you take it off and take that chip out and have it like Mitch had it?
Yeah. I mean, it would take a little while, but yes, I could do that. Well, let me show. Hey, Mitch, go back to the camera real quick. Let me show you my. So this. Are you able to see that?
wait a minute. Yeah, I see the USB port.
Okay, so you see the USB port. This is what I'm assuming. This top one here is my flight controller. Actually,
No, the flight controller
There's-
the top is probably the video transmitter. The flight controller is the board that has the USB port on it.
well, yeah, and that is this one. Let me see. Right, that's the USB port right there. You
On
see,
the
I'm
top
pointing at it.
board.
Yeah.
On the
that-
top. Okay.
And so on the other side of that is a white button right here on that same board, and that is the button I pressed. It's right. See that? You see that white button?
Yeah, I see it.
Right there. That's
The name of that board was. Give me the name of that board again. Race. What was it? ST Racing or SP?
SP Racing F3.
I want to see if I could find a.
SP Racing F3. Now, I'm looking at the instructions right now.
Oh, does it have a
Flight controller FCS.215 is the flight controller, according to the instructions.
Does it give you a wiring diagram
Let's see here.
or a picture of the board?
That's a good question.
But on a flight, hold that thing up again, Kelly. Let me see that
All right.
again.
So again, there is my USB. That's
Now, where's the button that you're telling me about?
It's on the other side. On the top board, it's right there on the side of that board. Right.
What's on the bottom? What does the bottom board have?
The bottom board looks like maybe the power distribution.
Okay, that's probably the PDB, and then your video transmitter is where is it, on the back?
It's back here.
Okay.
You can see where the antenna comes out of it. Right. Let's see. Yeah, you see where the antenna comes out. I believe that's the VTX right there. Wouldn't that make sense?
Okay, here we go. Hold on a second. Does that board have plugs on it?
It has, next to the USB, it has a plug. Next to the USB, it has. You see that USB and the plug next to it?
That white one?
Yep. Exactly.
All right, hang on a second. Does it look? I'm going to try to make this. I'm going to try to make this big enough where you can see it here.
I think I'm still full frame.
Yep.
Kelly, we can just have spin up at your house next year.
Yeah, look at my backyard.
This is cool.
I got a big backyard.
This is cool. Okay. Does it look like this?
You are.
I think it does, but it doesn't. It only has one white extra connection. It doesn't have two.
See, this says SP Racing.
So is the boot button
Clean
in this
flight.
case? Is the boot button down there on the lower right of this frame?
Well, I'm looking.
thing on the
see
side?
this? Okay, now on this board here, can you see where I'm? I don't have the mouse on there. Can you see on that board? It's pretty big. Way over on the right, it says buzzer down.
Yep, I
down
see
at
that.
the bottom right, and then just to the left of that is the word boot.
Oh,
Buzzer and
Just to the
boot.
left, boot.
Yeah, I see that.
And you see there's two connections, two solder points below the word boot. So on a board like this, you'd have to short those two together while you plug the power in. And that's what you do if you don't have a button. Now your board has a button.
It has this.
So-
Again, it has this white button over here on the side.
I'm
and I
trying to.
I only have one plug on. So that's not the same board because this has two plugs on either side of the USB, and then it has a plug in the front and the back as
Kelly's
well.
only got one.
Yeah, mine's only
And
got
you-
one next to the USB.
You only have one next to the USB. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
looking at
your USB has one on either side.
I'm looking at images here. Let me blow these. Let me blow this page up here.
oh,
And,
that board is a version 1. Maybe his is a
now
version 2.
I have a page here of pictures.
Yep.
I googled SP Racing F3 and then I looked at the images.
These are all the
and-
pictures that came up.
And this is what I got, and I'm trying to find one that might resemble your board. It doesn't look
No,
like
actually, there is a picture of the board in the manual.
Well,
there is
let's
there
look
is
at it.
there is a picture.
Scroll
maybe-
down, Mitch. Scroll down.
Oh wait, I got it right here.
yeah, that's
bet
it
you
right
this-
there.
I'll bet you this is it right here.
That's it.
Because does it only have one port or one connector next to the?
Well, I just
next to
had
the
it. What
USB?
happened to it? Here it
Yeah,
is.
I think
Uh,
if you-
yeah.
This one here.
You gotta click on it, Mitch. When you find
Well,
the picture, just
Yeah,
Yeah,
so the boot button is definitely the button on the side
you
because
go.
I'm looking at the manual. I'm looking at the manual right
Trying
now.
to make it bigger here. All right, Kelly, here we are. So I think,
Well,
I
no,
think
because
that,
that one's got two.
hold on a
USB
second here.
each
Here it
side,
is.
too.
I think that this is the one that you got. Right
Hold on,
here.
I'm actually going to email you a picture of it.
Look at the screen and tell me if that looks like what you got.
Well, that one has two USB on each side.
Oh,
too,
that
or
one has two also. I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
I went and clicked on the picture
Yeah.
of just one, but all right. Email me the picture of what.
Okay.
And I got while we're talking here, let me bring in Ron at 3X.
Hey.
Hi, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
You
How
did-
you doing?
Hey,
didn't
Ron.
notice you in there
Howdy.
while we're
Seems
busy
like
trying to
seems
figure
like a
out
lot
what
of
Kelly
schooling
has.
going on here, so I'm here to learn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what I'm doing because these.
That's
guys
what
are
I'm
way-
doing here.
they're way
Everybody
smarter
thinks
than me.
I'm the professor. I'm here to learn something. You know.
No, you're the professor. You're the
hey,
professor. for
I'm
sure.
here to learn, man. I come here to learn.
Hey, Mitch,
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop out for a second. I'm only at like 4% loading on that, so
Oh well,
I'm
you're
gonna try
trying to
it.
reinstall.
loading it.
Rick, you're trying
Yeah.
to reinstall it, and that's no good.
Maybe you should
so-
just let it reinstall.
yeah,
That's
let it reinstall. But when you go to run it, once you've reinstalled it, that thing that you used to reinstall it with, just delete that. Get rid of it.
Yeah, the install
Yeah.
program.
And then there'll be a folder on there that says Velocidrone.
An hour
Launcher.
ago, it was working fine.
Yeah, you must have clicked. Well, that's because you came in here. See.
I'm figuring it's because maybe something with being online on StreamYard.
No. What happened was you clicked the installer instead of the launcher app. Is what I've done that many times, and then I finally just deleted the stupid installer so I would stop clicking on it.
Don't let him lie to you, Rick. He sent a virus to your computer.
Where's that button? That
I'll
says
I'll let it go, but it's only- it's
remove.
like-
Okay, all right, there we go. All right.
Yeah, it just seemed like it's only 3.2% loaded.
No, that's reinstalling. You'll never get that's trying to actually reinstall, unzip all the 3 gigabytes of
no.
files.
This is just clicking on the emblem of the Velocidrone, and that's the one I click on all the time.
Maybe too.
Mhm. It brings
You might
that-
try.
brings
You
that
might
up.
try a reboot, Rick.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Try-
a reboot will do wonders.
Try a reboot and see what happens. All right,
Okay,
buddy. Well,
Mitch,
you got the
Mitch,
link.
check your-
Right back.
Check your email. You should have a email with the picture of the board.
All right.
Okay, I got it.
Be right back.
That's kind of a hokey looking picture, but it's all right.
I think you need to seriously take into consideration, Professor FPV is your new channel name.
Class is in session.
Yep.
You know, this
As
is
long as-
I should have named. I initially started this out to be like beginner FPV, because I haven't been doing it that long myself, but I catch on to this stuff pretty quick. So compared to guys like Joshua Bardwell and them, I don't know anything. But on the other hand,
Well,
guys like
compared,
Joshua Bardwell
compared to
wouldn't
guys
sit-
like us, you do. So
Yeah.
and guys like
I come
and-
here.
and-
I come here any chance I get to learn. Like,
And that's the deal. The deal is that our community is so small that I can, we can together figure out the answer to anything that the big guys just don't have time to spend with you on. They've got 100,000 subscribers to deal with. So, all right.
Well,
so
Ron,
here
what
we
we're
got
trying to do here is put. So this drone that I have, this is a Walkera Furious 215, which flies fine. There's no problems with it. I just wanted to make some adjustments in beta flight. Well, guess what? It's running clean flight, so I'm trying to swap clean flight for beta flight on it,
hey,
and that's what we're doing.
what I'm trying to figure
I come
out.
to Mitch for FPV knowledge, man. I'm camera drone guy, but I come to Mitch for absolutely FPV knowledge, and that's why I'm here. And I'll sit here and won't say a word because I'll be learning.
Mitch has entered the flight controller. He's in it. Oh my God, he's in there tinkering with it. Mitch,
Here's what I want you to do.
Mitch, come back.
Here's what I want you. Yeah. I'll be right back, guys.
Balloons could do. We can too.
That's cool. Huh? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to plug your flight controller in.
Okay, plug
Just
it
plug
into
it in.
Okay.
Plug it into the USB.
Plug it
and,
in. Plug it in. Who got that?
And
in my
let
head?
it and let it
Roosevelt.
and let
Thank
it
you.
and let it open up beta flight,
Okay.
and you'll get your message,
Yep. It says.
and then go into the CLI.
Okay. I'm in the CLI. Wow, man, it's
Okay.
weird. It was super hot like an hour ago, and now it's raining outside.
I
mean,
wish it
that's
was raining here.
That's not our fault. We didn't have anything to do with that.
No, I'm
Now-
pleased.
I told you, Mitch is sending out those viruses.
In the CLI down in the
Yep.
command line tab down
Yep.
at the bottom, type DFU, enter,
All right.
and see what happens.
BFU.
DFU.
Oh, sorry, DFU. Yeah. Sorry. Dude,
On mine it didn't do any good. I thought
It says-
you might be able to put it into the DFU mode.
It says unknown
from the-
command.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hold on a second here.
Not so smart after all, Mitch.
Yeah, by the way, hi Art. I'm good to see you again, Art.
Good to see you,
Good
Ron.
to see you, Art. Haven't seen you in a while.
Ron, where are
Yeah,
you
we missed
located?
Ron.
I am in Northeast Ohio, right along Lake Erie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You're up there by Paul Murray and them.
Yeah,
Now-
Paul Murray's kind of Lake Huron.
Yeah, Lake
I'm,
Huron.
I'm
He's
Lake
Lake-
Erie. Yeah.
North
My,
and
Do
my
you
family is
see-
up on the St. Lawrence, off of Lake Ontario right now.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Kelly,
Yes, sir.
the button on your USD is, where is it on this board in relation to the USB port on the picture? I'm looking at the picture. that
Opposite
you-
side. It's
The opposite side.
It's number 3 up there. See, it says boot TO.
Okay, it does. Okay, it says boot. So that's the boot
Yeah.
button.
Yeah,
so, So when you hold that button down and plug it in, it should go into boot mode.
Well, let me try it while it's already plugged in.
No, that you can try it, but nothing will happen. You hold the button down, plug it in.
All
The
right.
lights, you should get different lights or no lights.
Well, I get no lights.
Okay,
I just-
but now
I just
if you
did it
look
again.
if you look up on your beta flight, does your computer still make its little ding noise when you plug it in?
I'm getting no noise when I plug it in, and now I'm on a Mac, so that's the other thing.
But you got beta flight; it should still work the same way.
Yeah. No, I don't get anything different when I plug it in and the lights don't come on.
Okay, but up
Oh,
here.
but you know what? But I do get. Oh well. Let me see what happens if I hit connect. Now it won't even connect to the drone anymore. Like it doesn't.
Okay, but
doesn't-
all right, but do this. Hit firmware flasher.
okay.
Oh, I don't. See, here's
Firmware
here's,
flasher. Okay,
and
I'm there.
up at the top on the left,
Yep.
it says
So
release and release candidates. You just want release, not release candidates. Okay.
Okay, wait. I don't see that. I see SP Racing F3 again.
In the drop down.
The drop down. Well, let me share my screen again with you real quick.
Okay.
That might help. Let's see. Share screen.
Who we lose? Looks
Share
like we
screen.
lost Art. Art disappeared.
Application window, beta flight, share. Okay. So, are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, see up here. This says SP Racing F3.
F3, and then underneath, click the box underneath that.
Yep. Can
And
choose
pick,
firmware version.
Pick 3.5.7.
So it only goes back to 4.0.0, which is from
Really,
11/2019.
that's the oldest one. That's the oldest one.
Yeah,
SP Racing
F3.
I'm looking on mine. F3 Racing F3, and the oldest.
Somebody's
that I
ringing.
got- yeah, you're right. It only goes
Yeah,
back to 4.0. In
It's-
fact,
it's-
it only goes up to 4.06.
Hold on, it's my wife.
And the the reason I suggested to go back further is because that's not a real powerful processor. An F3 is and just like in Windows computers, they keep the newer versions just need more and more and more power to run.
Right.
And,
So it
you know,
almost
like-
it might be obsolete.
And I'll tell you, I don't know how important it is for you to, or how quickly you need to get that going, but
I mean, there's no big urgency, but
for 20 to 30 bucks, you could actually get yourself a new flight controller, a new F4 or an F7, stick it in there, learn, do a little soldering, really get to experience what it's like to build.
you think that's the
these
best
things.
thing to do?
Well, I honestly think that you're not going to, it'll fly, but you'll never be able to update it because the latest that I can find for that controller is 4.06, and I don't even know if in Betaflight 4.2 if they're even going to support F3s anymore. It's just getting to be that obsolete. And
so if I put a new
don't-
flight controller on here, that's the only thing I would need to replace. Like I would need to replace
correct.
the ESCs.
No.
I wouldn't need to
Nope.
replace.
Nope.
Okay. Well,
you just have to learn. You just have to wire it up, and that would be a learning experience for you.
absolutely. It would be. And I'm looking at it. There isn't really too much wired into this thing. It's pretty. I'll stop screen sharing for a minute. So it's. I don't know. It seems like it would be pretty easy, actually.
Well, the thing is, you'd have to. You probably wouldn't be able to use the plugs that has. You'd probably have to solder those things that are plugged into that board to the new board.
Like the transmitter and the ESCs.
Well, are they all plugged in or soldered? The ESCs are one big plug, I guess, that go to the.
Yeah, there's
Or they
a
go-
there's a thing on the back. Can you see where those plugs are right there?
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
But that's the power distribution board. You don't need to change any of that. You only need the signal wires that come from the flight controller. There's one big plug, a big wide plug, and that goes down to the power distribution board. It's got probably 6 or 7 wires in it.
Yep. I see that.
Yeah, that's on the same
That's
side as
that
your
that
USB
wire
card.
is the only wire. Those are the only wires you have to deal with. The rest
Okay.
are all power wires that go to the ESC.
Right, which are already soldered and everything.
Yeah,
so,
they're on. You don't have
so
to.
it'd just be a matter of putting a new flight controller on it, flashing the flight controller with the latest version of Betaflight, and I'd be good to go.
Yeah, that would work. What size motors does it have?
That's a good question. These, I don't know. Hold on. Let me check the manual.
It should say on the motor. It should say like 2207,
No, they're
2306.
just there's no print on the motors.
Now this, Kelly's, this little flight controller right here is a F4 iFlight.
iFlight F4?
Yeah, iFlight. It's called a Succex. Succex. Dumbest name in the world.
Okay.
You tell me how to pronounce it. But it's an F4 control. Have you heard of the Nazgul? The iFlight Nazgul? Yeah. This is the flight controller that comes on that. So I got one of those Nazguls, and it flies so good that I went and I bought a couple of these, and it has the 4-in-1 ESC and the same flight controller. And they're like $48.
Wait, so you don't even need the ESCs on the arms then?
Well, you don't know, but if you got them, you can use them. But what I'm saying is, when you're building drones now for $45-50, you can get a totally adequate flight controller for $80 to $90 or $100. You can get the latest and greatest F7 with the BL Heli 32. You can get the Mr. Steele or Jonathan Bardwell kind
special
of stuff.
So
yeah.
so the motor is WKWS 28017 2500 kV. 28-01. Or sorry, 28017.
The hell does that mean?
I mean, this is probably a
That's a part number probably.
Well, this is probably specific to Volterra, maybe.
Well, let me tell you, just in case you guys don't know, and this is just some good general information. What these numbers, all these numbers mean when you're talking about motors. Okay.
Is this the ID10T?
No, this is for real. Okay, so here we got.
Yeah, what does KV mean? I've always wondered.
I'm gonna explain that to you right now.
Okay.
The motor has dimensions. It has inside this bell is a stator. It has all the little coils and windings. Okay.
The copper wire.
The first number of a motor will have 4 numbers. First 2 will be like 22, 23, 15. That is the diameter of the stator in millimeters.
Okay.
So this motor happens to be and it says right on the side, it says, where is it? It says, and
so a 22 would be a bigger motor. A 15 would be a smaller.
Correct. So
Okay.
if it's a 20, this is a 2207. That means the stator is 22 wide and 7 top to bottom, 7 inches
okay.
tall.
Millimeters, not inches.
Millimeters, right. So if this was a 22 by 22, it would be as tall, the actual bell would be as tall as it is wide. And
Okay.
if you look at, a lot of times when you look at motors that come on these flying wings, they'll be deep motors. They'll be like 24, 22s or something like that. So that's what the first 2 numbers mean. The first 2 numbers are basically just the measurement. The most common size motors for 5-inch quads are like 2306, 2207, 2208, 2307, in that range.
Yeah, that's about. I mean, if you look at this, that's about what this looks like. It looks like.
Yeah, and I was at, somewhere on there. It
Probably
may
about
say,
3 times as wide as it is tall.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what the numbers mean on a motor. So when
Okay.
you hear like a Tinyhawk comes with an 1103 or
Right.
something like that,
11
that means
millimeters
it's a
wide, 3 millimeters tall.
3 millimeters tall. Now
Got
KV does not have anything to do with volts. I mean, like kilovolts.
It's not kilovolts. Ah.
Well, it does have to do with volts, but in a different way.
Okay.
The K means 1,000.
Yep.
The V means volt. So KV means how many thousands of revolutions per minute per volt. So if you take a motor that's a 1 kV motor and put 1 volt to it,
It'll go 1
it'll
revolution
turn
per minute.
1,000 revolutions per minute. 1,000 RPMs per volt. So if I took that same motor and put 10 volts on it, it would go 10,000 RPM. Okay, if I put 20 volts on it, it would go 20,000 RPM. Until it went so fast that the bearings flew out of it. Now,
Yeah, I think that would blow my car up.
But you'd go real fast, Roosevelt. You'd go real fast.
okay, so the typical KV for a 5-inch 4S quad,
Which is what this is. This is a 4S.
4S, okay, is usually in the 24 to 2500 kV
And this
range.
is 2500 kV.
Okay, that means that thing will spin 2500 RPM per volt.
So at 4S it's 11
It's
no,
16 point something, yeah.
Yeah, 14 to 16 volts.
Now
So-
that'd be at full power, full throttle, to get that kind of voltage to the motor. But it'll
so
because the flight
16
controller will cut the back. Yeah. So
16
maximum
times 25.
right is
25.
50,000 RPM.
Okay.
Very fast. Okay, so now let's take and let's suppose that by virtue of the fact that that's the motor they selected for that 4S quad, let me get my calculator here. That full power of 25,000 times, let's say 16 volts, is 40,000 RPM.
Wow.
Okay, 2,500 times. So 40,000 RPM is what that thing is screaming at. And let's suppose that that's pretty much the speed that you want to be the top speed for these motors, considering the mechanical construction and the bearings. All right?
And that's top speed, correct? You're
Right.
talking about top speed.
That's
Okay.
that's screaming.
insane
That's
speed.
full blast, full power, screaming up. Okay, so now let's think about this for a minute. Suppose you took that very same quad and put a 6S battery on it, because a lot of guys like to fly with 6S batteries.
Yeah.
With those motors at 2,500 kV, you'd probably blow them up.
Yeah.
Because-
yeah, and
but-
the ESCs
but-
as well, right?
Right, but if you got a lower kV motor to make up for the difference in the higher voltage, so that the net result was pretty much the same top RPM, you'd be okay. So that's why if that same quad was built for 6S, it'd probably have 1,800 kV motors in it.
Okay. That makes sense.
So this is and basically you learn pretty much where the standards are, and that's for a 5-inch quad. So the standard kV range for a 5-inch quad is usually in 1,700 to 1,800 range. If you take everything else the same and change the motors to 2,500, then it's a 4S quad.
Why is it that some quads can do a range? They can do like between 3 and 6S, or 3, fly with 3 or 4S, or am I misspeaking?
No, you're absolutely right. And here's the reason. Notice they don't tell you you're going to get the same performance. That's like, so basically you're saying, I got this car and I can either drive it full throttle or I can drive it half throttle. Because if you
Okay.
take a 6S quad and put a 3S battery in and give it full throttle, you're only going to get half the amount of power you could have gotten with a 6S, but it'll still fly.
So is it safe to put a here's a question. So that little Gep RC rocket that I have, which I love, it's fantastic. They recommend a 4S between 500 and 650 or 500 and 800 milliamp hours. So I got a few of those batteries. I do have some 3S batteries that are XT30, so they would fit. Can I fly it with a 3S versus a 4S? Will it hurt it?
No, it won't hurt it. You can try. What you'll notice is the throttle.
You'll have to
all
push
else
the
being
throttle
equal,
higher.
Push the throttle higher. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Uh,
it should because I've got a ton of 3S batteries that I'm not using right now, and I know you can't do the opposite. Like if you have a 3S quad, you really shouldn't fly it with a 4S battery, right? Like
No,
if it's,
because there's a number of things. It may be that some of the other components that are in there, the video transmitter, can't take that high
extra voltage,
the flight
right.
controller and all that other stuff. I see Art finally found his way back.
But I'm
Where'd
not
you
gonna.
go, Art?
What happened, Art?
For some weird reason, it bumped me out.
He went back to play piano for a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
What the
right.
hell? All right, so Kelly, yeah, you have to be sure.
I can throw the 3S on the rocket and get some extra flights out of it. Like if I want to go from
going
10
down
back to 15.
Now,
There's a setting.
if something
There's a
does
setting.
happen, you can blame Mitch, and he'll just send you one of those. on the
Yeah,
back
blame
wall
me,
there.
and
Yeah.
Ken Hearn will be happy to buy you a new one.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Now-
right.
Here's the thing. Here's the way to think about it. When you got a 4S quad, and you've got the stick at 3/4 throttle, you're giving it the equivalent of a 3S at full throttle.
Right.
The quad,
Okay.
But you want to be careful that if you try to fly it on a 2S, and you're always, you need full throttle just to get the motors to spool up. It's like trying to drive a car in 5th gear off the line. You might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and my intent would be if I was flying a 4S, my rocket with a 3S battery, I'm not flying super aggressive. I mean, I'm trying to do some things where I'm trying to learn how to dive and then pull out at the last minute. I wouldn't do that with a 3S, right? Because I need that 4S power to be able to
You'd
pull
be
out.
amazed. You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed at how little you're actually using that level of power in that. You might even enjoy it more on 3S, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. Yeah, but it should
That's
work.
exciting though, because that doubles my
problem.
number of batteries. That doubles
Hey.
my number of batteries that I have. So
There you go.
So that means I can go from flying 10 to 20 at a time, which is awesome.
No, that's good.
But yeah,
So
I
that's
think
what-
you're right, Mitch. I think the trick with this, I'm going to have to just buy a flight controller. I'll email you separately to get the name of the one you recommend.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I mean, I feel pretty confident that I could take off the top plate, take out the flight controller, figure out where everything's connected, get it all screwed up, and then call you. That's my plan.
Call me before you get it all screwed up.
No, I'm going to screw it up real good.
Hey,
And then-
Kelly.
Like I say,
Kelly, just
I
mail
come
it
into
to
these
him.
streams, I learn.
Yeah, just
I
mail
just
it
want to
to
listen
you.
and learn. And when I need something, I'm calling Mitch.
No. I agree.
Yeah.
If I can get you engaged beforehand, but I mean, just looking at it, it does. I'm pretty comfortable soldering. I don't have an issue with that. I've never gotten into the guts of a machine, and actually the physical part of soldering the parts and assembling things doesn't scare me as much as the software.
Yeah.
Where I think I'm going to need the help is like, okay, why the hell are the motors reversed now, or why are these two spinning the same direction instead of these two, or
Yeah.
there's going to be those little gotchas that you have, or why isn't the transmitter working? The quad arm
First
transmitter's
thing
not
you
working.
want to do is take off the props.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
for sure.
Now, let
for
me
sure.
tell you what the pitfalls are, Kelly, why it may not be as simple as you think it is. It's because the new flight controller may have different BECs, battery eliminator circuits in it. There's different voltages. There's 5 volts, 12 volts, 9 volts. Some receivers need 5 volts, some need 3.3 volts. Some video cameras need 5 volts, some need what they call VBAT, which is the full power of the battery. And we need to figure out all that stuff before you start wiring up the flight controller, because you need to know which pins on the flight controller.
Maybe
some
while
of
I'm
these
at it,
go
I
to.
should put a Cadix in here, the Cadix digital transmitter.
Oh, the Vista?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that. You could
Yeah.
rebuild the whole, or you could just build a whole new quad out of the latest and greatest parts.
True. No,
I'll
you're
tell
right.
you
I
what
mean,
helped.
that
I'll
would
tell
probably
you,
be
Kelly,
the smartest thing to do.
I'll tell you what helped. They're not expensive. Eachine makes these Tyro kits. Tyro 69, 79, 89, 99, 109, 119, and 129.
Okay.
They're all different quads, and they're kits. They come with everything you need, and you build it. And the number is the price. So the Tyro 99 is $99, and that's
Wow.
a frame, motor, flight controller, And I've built 4 of them. I built the 99, the 79, the 89, and 2 of the 129s, and they fly great. And what
are you getting? Just bigger motors and better.
No, it's a
components,
bigger quads. In fact, hang on a second.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Talk, Art.
Yeah.
Art, play host for a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay. Alrighty. So, Kelly, can you tell us who Speed Racer's arch nemesis was?
Oh, I know his
It's that
girlfriend.
guy with the purple hat and all that's in the dog, right?
His girlfriend was Trixie, and his monkey was Chim Chim.
Yeah.
Do Dastardly or something like that?
No,
man.
that's a different cartoon. That's not Speed Racer.
I don't know.
Oh, that's
Speed
gonna
Racer.
drive me crazy because I used to watch Speed Racer every day before I went to school, and I can't remember his.
Ryan,
arch
see my shirt?
Yes, dude, that's awesome. Yes.
I'll give you a hint.
Ah.
There was a heavy metal band named after it.
I used to watch Speed Racer every day before going to school.
It wasn't Iron Maiden.
Is his name Rex?
No, and the lead guitarist in that band later went on.
Was it
How the hell-
Motorhead? Was it Motorhead?
No.
How did we get onto this on the drone? Jeez, I can't leave you guys alone for 2 minutes. and
Racer.
talking
Art,
about-
that is a
Trivia.
awesome
Racer X.
question.
Oh,
Racer
yes.
What was his name?
Racer X.
Racer X.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh my god.
And wasn't there a whole storyline where Racer X turned out to be his brother or something?
I thought it was his brother,
Like
his dad.
related to him somehow. Yeah,
Yep.
man. That's good.
I used to watch Speed Racer every
Yeah,
morning
that
for going to
shows you
school.
how.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
used
see
to
how we
love
got
that
to this.
show, too.
I
What
see
a
how we
great
got to
question. That was
this.
a great question. That was a great question.
Hey, Ed,
Got
how
me
you
good.
doing, buddy? All right, let me talk about these things. Kelly, this happens to be the Tyro 89. It's
Okay.
it's a little 2.5-inch blades. It's the size of it on my hand.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's a
really.
kit, and you build it, and it's small and tiny, but man, it flies great. It's $89, and usually
It's a
from Bangor you can
3S?
get them cheaper.
Wow.
I fly it on a 3S 650.
How fast does it go, Mitch?
Oh, all of these little things scream 60, 70 miles an hour when you pour it to it. It's a great flying little quad. Then this one is the Tyro 79. That's a 3-inch quad, okay?
Okay.
And this one was the Tyro 99. That's a 5-inch quad. And then this one here is the Tyro 129. You've all seen this before, that I have iNav on.
Yeah, it's
Kelly.
got GPS.
Yeah, it's got GPS. It does return to home and land and everything. Yet you can throw the switch, put it in acro mode, and go do anything.
Wow.
Go FPV with it. And this is $120, $129.
Wow.
Yeah,
7-inch.
I'm on Banggood right now and I see the Tyro.
Yeah, and this is a 7-inch quad.
Isheen. So
Wow.
so
So-
is it easier to build because of real estate? Meaning, and when I say real estate, I mean you have more space to solder and stuff. Is it easier to build the bigger ones?
Well, you have a couple of different basic size flight controllers. You have a 30 by 30, what they call a 30 by 30 stack, a 20 by 20 stack, a 16 by 16, and that's the centimeters between the holes. So that stack that I was showing you here, the iFlight one, is a 30
Yep.
by 30 stack. A 20 by 20 starting to get pretty small. 16 by 16, you're going to have, you're going to be soldering on that.
Yeah.
But the Eachine kits all come with plugs. You don't have to solder to the boards.
Oh. So you just plug the ESCs.
Everything just,
and,
yeah, you have to solder the motor wires to the ESCs, and you have to solder the battery wire to the board. And if you want to, and then there's a couple other little tricks. But the only point I'm trying, and I know that Bardwell actually did a build video
On
the
one of these?
Tyro, on the Tyro 119, which
And
also
it
comes.
It looks like they have a 600 milliwatt transmitter too, which is a pretty beefy transmitter.
Yeah, this one's got the 129's got an 800 milliwatt VTX.
geez.
And this thing with iNav on it was a blast because it's a regular quad that flies like a Betaflight quad with what I call an shit switch. You just hit the
and then it acts like a Mavic.
And I have two of them, and I was flying one, and I talked about this Thursday night. I was flying. I had just installed the latest version of iNav on it, so I went out to take a test flight, and something happened into the flight, and my goggles went blank. The video transmitter just quit working, and all I saw was static. And I was ripping around the sky, and all I did was on my transmitter.
Hit the return to home.
Yeah, and here's how I have my transmitter set up for iNav. Just
That's the jumper.
yeah, this is the jumper. But let me show you what the switches do. So once you once you get it memorized, it's pretty neat. But of course, this is the ARM switch here.
Okay.
This switch over here changes the OSD display to 3 different displays. One of them is full of all kinds of crap. One of them is minimal. And one of them is no text on the screen. So if I want to see all the horizon bars and all this satellite information, and if I want to just look at the picture, fly around without all that crap, I can change that.
Nice.
This is the mode switch here. So I usually have it set to stabilize or angle mode, horizon mode, and acro.
Yep. That's
Although
so typically, I'm glad to see you do yours the same way because I do disarm, I do horizon, I do or actually angle. I do all that away from me. All of that is like away, and then anything coming towards me is like armed or acro, or it's it's the sort of more intense stuff.
And
so if I get in trouble, I just flip it all away.
Yep. So that's the mode switch. This switch here in iNav is altitude hold and loiter, or altitude and
Which
position
is
hold.
Just position hold, okay.
Or on a fixed wing plane, that
Loiter.
means just fly around in circles.
Okay, so
it just flies around in a circle until
it's like a holding pattern, like we won't be landing because there's too much congestion at the airport.
Right. You just click it in there. So it's altitude hold or loiter, which is a combination of flying a circle around the point where you started, and then this switch over here is my shit switch. It's the big switch right on this side, and that's return to home.
Yeah.
And what that does is it automatically throws it into angle mode, in stabilized mode, climbs to a predetermined altitude, turns around, flies back to the home point, stops over the home point, turns around and faces the direction that it was when it took off, and lands. And that saved the quad when I lost the goggles.
Of course.
Hit the shit switch, and I've done that a few times before, Kelly, and I have confidence in it, which is really cool because I just clicked the switch and I just turned around, took my goggles off, walked back to the car. I knew it was working.
You knew it was going to come home.
And then I started to hear it, and it landed. Honest to God, this is a $119 or $129 drone with iNav in it. It landed 2 to 3 feet from the landing pad where it took off.
This is the Tyro?
Yeah, this is that Tyro 120, the 7-inch one. This one here. And
I have to tell you guys a quick story, and I've told this story before, but I don't know if you guys have heard it before. This was when I first started in FPV. My buddy Jason and I. Jason is kind of like you, Mitch. He's like a computer guy. He gets all this stuff. He and I built a quad together, and by that I mean he built it, and I asked a lot of questions initially. But we were going to race a couple of little cheap toy grade. I mean they were okay FPV quads. Like the Bugs 8. I don't know if you've ever seen the Bugs 8, but these are like ready to fly FPV kits. Anyway. So Jason and I get out. We set our 2 quads down. We've got a course on a soccer field. Hey, Chris Hope. And we're going to fly around this soccer field.
Look who I found.
We're gonna fly around through the gulls, around a flagpole, all this stuff. So we arm our quads. We got them sitting right next to each other. We arm them and we go. And he's a better pilot than me. This is 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm beating him, and I'm in front, and I'm like, dude, and we're talking, because we're right next to each other, and oh, I just passed you, and oh, I can, I'm out front, and oh, did you, and oh, anyway, we get back, he and I both take us off our goggles. I was looking at his video signal the whole time. I was on the wrong channel, and I basically flew my quad off into the woods somewhere. Like I wasn't even controlling my. I thought I was looking at his quad, thinking I was flying mine, and it ended up
I
on
bet
the woods.
you somebody was like, "Oh, look, honey, there's a drone."
That's funny.
At no point you realize this thing's not.
No, because I thought I was just flying really good because we were flying the same course, right? So I mean, the left turn would have been at the same time, the right turn would have been at the same time.
Wow.
It just felt like I was flying it, and it turns out I wasn't. I was just like, I don't know where it went, and we looked around for a while, but basically don't. Because they were sitting next to each other, so the view was the same or very similar. Go over, pick up your quad, shake it around a little bit, make sure it's actually yours, and then put it down before you fly.
Oh, that would be so embarrassing.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Hi, Chris.
well,
how you doing, buddy? Can't hear you, Chris.
Can't hear you. I don't hear
You
me
have
either.
to drop out and come back in, big brother.
No, no.
Nope,
You
not
got it
yet.
mute. Are you muted? You're not muted here.
No.
Drop out and come back in.
There,
the same thing that
turn
happened
your
last
mic on.
time.
About
Now?
Yeah.
Oh,
There
here
we
there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice sunrise this morning, Chris. It looks great.
Good morning. Thank you, Kelly. Good morning, Kelly. That was 12 hours ago.
Good night.
Yeah,
good morning.
you've been up. No, that was like 14 hours ago.
I got up.
It'll be morning again soon.
I got up and watched Paul actually at 4. So
Oh, wow. That's
I missed
dedication.
everybody this morning. I didn't get to sleep till like 2 a.m. last night, and
Same here.
Slept-
Same here. I
slept
was
right-
playing video games.
You know what? I was up late trying to get a view of that comet, and naturally the clouds were like right where the
Was there a
comet's
comet
supposed
last
to be.
night?
There's a
all mud.
comet out there.
It's still there. I think it's supposed to last all month.
Yeah, I mean, I literally live on the coast of Lake Erie, where like nobody has a better northeast view than I do, and there were literally clouds like right where it was supposed to be all the whole time we were out there. Like,
Are you going to go out again tonight?
no, we're already in for the night, but like last night, like right below the Big Dipper is where it's supposed to be, and like that's where the clouds were. I could see the Big Dipper just fine, and the clouds right below it all night long.
Oh, man.
My wife saw it. She's in upstate New York, and she said that she saw it, and it was pretty cool. I mean, you could see the tail and everything.
I live on Lake Erie. Like, I have a perfect northwest view, and nope, couldn't get it last night.
It's
Oh,
another-
how long is it going to be around? How many days are we going to be
couple
able to see
days,
this
I
thing?
think. Couple more days. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
around.
the rest of July at least, like another week or so.
Yeah, I'm open to see
So
it.
Kelly,
Is it
You
just
think you- you
northern?
think
Is
you
it
didn't-
just northern states that can see it?
The northern
No.
hemisphere is supposed to be able to see
No,
it.
we can see it. The reason I know we can see it down here, Roosevelt, is actually my friend Jason, the guy I was talking about, who I raced with. He's in some of my videos. He does astrophotography. He's going out to Enchanted Rock tonight, which is a state park, and he's going to shoot pictures of it tonight. So, although it's pretty cloudy, so hopefully he'll be able to see it.
I'll see. And you said it would it be in the same position as it was last night for you, right below the Big Dipper?
It should be. It should be like right below the Big Dipper is where they're saying it should be.
I'll look for it tonight and see if
I can see the Big Dipper just fine, but right below the Big Dipper was clouds. Like,
No.
it just drove me nuts last night.
Jody says it's going to be best by around 11, I guess. Jody? What part of the world, Jody?
It's like right after sunset, like right when the sky gets dark. And as soon as you can see the Big Dipper, you should be able to see
Let me
it.
go out. I'm going to go out here now.
Go check, Roosevelt. Report back.
Rick Halber just
check.
just put in the chat here that he said 1/4 loaded and stopped. Rick,
Did he reboot? Rick,
I don't-
I think
I
you
don't
got to
know,
do a
Rick.
reboot.
It's too light still.
Reboot your computer and don't run the installer. Find the folder that's on your computer that says Velocidrone. Go into that folder. There's another folder in there that says app, APP. In that folder is a thing called Velocidrone Exec. That's what you have to run, and make a shortcut. Create a shortcut of that. Stick it on your desktop. But don't, you're just evidently, I hope you haven't ruined the installation you had by starting it over again. That's possible.
But you should be able to reinstall it if you had to. But it sounds
think
like
so,
if
yeah.
it's taking that long, it sounds like a reboot's in order anyway.
Just blame
Yeah,
Mitch.
that's-
Ken Heron will send you a new one.
Yeah, that's it. If it's my fault, you tell him. You tell
put-
Ken I said that.
Put it on
it's okay.
Mitch's tab.
Put it on his tab. So Kelly, you think you would really enjoy the technical side of this hobby?
Oh yeah. No, I've realized for a while that if you want to be serious about it, you've got to know how to repair. Right. That's ultimately it's like changing a tire on your car or being able to do some basic maintenance on your car, oil changes and stuff like that. That's what I want to be able to do. I don't need to be quite as deep, but the nice thing is there's people like you, there's people like Bardwell, there's so many resources online that it is something that if you have the patience for it, you can do. My goal would be good enough to build a kit quad. So I'm really interested in this Tyro that you were talking about, and then B, be able to do something like pull out the flight controller of this guy and put a new one in. Yeah, I mean that doesn't sound too hard to me. I know there's going to be some gotchas, but that's part of life.
So let me ask you this, Mitch.
Yeah.
What is the difference between, building and repairing your FPVs versus, a DJI drone or so? Are the FPVs more simple, or is the DJI, the camera drones more simple to put together and stuff?
No. They're two completely different animals. The DJI drones are very complex, and virtually every part in that is a proprietary part.
Have you ever taken one apart and put one back
No,
together?
I don't want to have anything to do. It's like taking apart. I'll give you an example. It's like taking apart it's like trying to fix an iPhone.
Hey,
Yeah.
I do
You
that,
got to
so-
pry the plastic pieces apart just right,
Gotcha.
I've done that.
where you can pop them
Yep.
apart without putting screwdriver dents in them.
Yep.
Everything is laid in.
It's streamlined and
It's all
everything's perfect.
proprietary. Whereas
Okay.
a quad is like building a jalopy car.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll get a frame over here.
Yeah.
I'll grab.
There we go.
You go
I'll
to
grab-
the junkyard and just
I'll
buy
grab
a
this
little
motor
rat
and that
rod.
transmission, and I'll weld up a frame and get it in there, and
Yep.
that's what. Now, most of the parts have standardized mounting, so all the quad motors mount the same way with pretty much the same size screws and the same bolt patterns. The flight controllers all mount the same way. Frames are almost the same. They're carbon fiber. They got 4 arms attached to it. They got a place to bolt the flight controller down. So everything is pretty interchangeable. I could take the flight controller out of this 5-inch quad and just mount it, put it right down on the mounts in any other 5-inch quad that I've got. So in that respect, you can't do that with a DJI drone. You can't take the main board out of a Mavic Mini and stick it in a Mavic 2 Pro.
They'll never talk to each other.
So that's the main difference. And
Gotcha.
these things are almost indestructible. If you crashed a Mavic like these guys crashed these things, you'd have to sweep it up with a dustpan.
Yeah, we've seen it.
Yeah, these things are so solid with these 4 and 5 millimeter carbon fiber arms that I mean, even if you fly it into a brick wall at 80 miles an hour and break a whole arm off of it, you 2 screws and put a new arm in, a new motor, solder it up, bingo, you're back in the air.
Well, I noticed that their more industrial drones are a bit more sturdy, like the Matrice and all that. How well do they hold up as far for like crashes and things? Because I know
No,
the
they
Matrice.
don't.
Well, I know the
they-
Matrice has like carbon fiber arms and stuff.
I think if you crashed it into something like
Yeah.
like these racing drones, it's a whole different world. But these it's I don't know how to describe it.
It's
like
just
I
more
said,
sturdy. It's tough. It's built tough.
and there are
it's
standards,
Ford tough.
right?
Yeah,
and
it's,
there are
it's,
standards.
It's hard to watch. Like you could go on YouTube and see Matrice drones crashing. It's hard to watch. It's painful. Yeah, they do not
Those
fare
are
well.
$18,000-$20,000 drones.
Yeah,
and
they
oh
do
my
not
God.
fare well when they hit the ground. Yeah,
They don't bounce well.
no.
So
Yeah,
but
they don't bounce.
what you find, for example, this Tyro 99 that I built, which was from Eachine. Okay, it was the first quad that I actually soldered up myself. It didn't. I did a live build. I did it on the.
That was with you and Mikey,
on the stream.
right?
Yeah, and I have since put new different motors on it. Just playing around. I put a whole new flight controller in it, and I put a CADX Ratel camera in it, which is a much better camera. Kept the same video transmitter. Kept the same. No, I put a whole new ESC. I took all the components out of this and stuck it in a different frame, and all this stuff is all will fit anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference. That's what makes FPV quads so neat. Is once you learn how one of them works, with few differences in the flight controllers, you really finally you know what you're doing.
Well, let me ask you this then: will you ever endeavor on making your own, body, arms, and all that? Have you ever thought about that?
No. I could. I mean, anybody who wants can get a sheet of carbon fiber and a CNC machine and draw it out and have it cut. But no, I have no desire to try to build the better quad. I'm too old.
I
I'm too old for
disappeared because I wanted to find something to show you guys. This right here, I've been going through some pictures. That is my first car. That was a 1967 Buick
Wow.
Electra.
Yeah, I
225.
remember you showed that it's been up.
Oh, I
Holy
did.
cow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, look at that.
so it had a 434 barrel in it, and you could literally climb into the engine compartment. So on this car, I replaced the alternator, I replaced the starter, I changed the oil myself, I replaced the spark plugs. I mean, I did all kinds of stuff to this car that I would never try to do to my car today. Not because I was smarter back then. I had a lot more time on my hands back then, but because it's like the difference, Roosevelt. I know it's a long-winded answer, but difference between a DJI drone and a FPV drone. This was like an FPV drone. Everything's kind of right there. You can take stuff apart. You can find out where it goes. Whereas a DJI drone is more like a modern car with computers and all this stuff in it that just,
That's right.
you pretty much have to know a
Gotcha.
lot more
Yeah,
to
it's
be able
a very
to fix
good
it.
comparison.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I get you.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that a beaut? I wish I could have. I sold that thing for like $1,500, and I really wish I could have kept it. It was
Yeah.
beautiful. So my grandparents gave it to me. They had known the original owner. It was a woman whose husband had died, and she kept that car until it was a '67. She kept it until '87. Was it '87? Yeah, I guess it was '87 when I got it, and she kept it for 20 years as her second car. But she never drove it. I got it with like 12,000 miles on it or something.
Woo!
Wow.
That reminds me of one of the cars. It was a '77 Chrysler New Yorker.
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
we're talking, a boat just like that one.
This was a boat. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a serious boat. Yep. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I know what you mean by that.
It was the most fun.
Get to anything. If you needed to change the alternator, you could climb in there and
Yeah. Everything was easy.
Yep.
I mean, very simple. There was no catalytic converter. It ran on regular.
Yep,
You
that's
could run regular. I mean, it spit out some. I'm sure I killed some trees and some.
Yep.
About
About
some
11
birds.
miles a gallon. Sure.
But
Yep.
This
but
is
yeah.
funny, guys. This is funny.
When I was
Free
done,
stand.
nothing worked. Now I got to take it all back apart and troubleshoot.
So is a
Tried to make a
Fanvic is a
fanvic.
Phantom Mavic combo?
Yeah.
I
Well,
actually
it's,
heard of somebody did that before and it actually
it's a
worked.
kit. It's a kit where you could turn a Phantom 3 and make it into a Mavic.
Really?
Where
Hadn't
the
heard of that one.
arms fold. It just looks like a Mavic, only a little bit wider and a little bit longer. I sent a kit to Jeff Sills. I'm still waiting for him to start working on it. He's got the parts drone to put in it.
Oh, he's got a Phantom 3 he's going to use to build it into a kit? Into a Mavic?
Yeah, he's got
Mavic?
a Phantom 3 Pro, I believe, that someone
You can
donated.
turn it into a Mavic?
Yeah, yep.
Is that remember they used to call them Hackintoshes, where you could take PC parts and build a Macintosh out of it? It was called a Hackintosh. Yeah.
I have no desire to do that. You know, the one thing I did, Kelly, I have to show you this one.
Is that one of those Tyros?
No, this is this is the first DJI FPV.
Oh yeah. You
quad
got
that I built.
You got the transmitter in there, the DJI. So does that
The,
run with the
area.
DJI remote or
No, I use
Free Sky?
Free Sky R9, the long range. Although I just bought a Crossfire deal.
Nice. Yeah, that's cool.
but this-
That's pretty looking. Very sleek.
This is it's a GEP RC frame.
Okay.
I bought the frame, and it comes with the antenna mounts, the 3D printed mounts for the DJI, the TPU mount for the air unit, and it's got a GPS on top, so it has GPS rescue, not auto
Nice.
land, because it runs Betaflight, and I use the R9 long range, and I've got a little one of those lost quad finder with the beeper with the little battery. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah. So it'll keep beeping.
Yeah, if it throws the battery or the battery goes dead and you can't find it, it'll beep for a day. And this probably every component in this would fit into that frame that you've got in that 3-year-old thing of yours,
Yeah.
and vice
yeah.
versa. So that's the point I'm trying to make is that this, which is like the latest and greatest design, it's still got all the
Oh, yeah.
same size mounting holes
This
for
thing. I
everything.
mean, look how tall. Look how big this. Look how tall this is. I mean, there's lots of space in there for stuff.
Yeah. So they haven't changed. They haven't changed these things, and that's what makes building these quads so neat. Is you can take parts, and I have a quad I called the Franken quad. I just had a whole box of leftover stuff, and I actually built a quad that flies out of it. You know.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. So and to me that's as enjoyable a part of this hobby as the flying. To a lot of guys, they hate the building. I love this aspect of it.
I think my goal would be to be competent enough to do repairs. You know, that would be is I break an arm or I fry a motor, I can replace it. You know, that would be which I think those things, depending on how it's all put in there, that stuff's pretty easy to do typically. You know, well, the arm may or may not be, depending on how it's set up, but yeah. No, and so I'm going to definitely order the Tyro. I think I'm going to go with the Tyro 99.
I would go with the 119.
Yeah, you like the bigger one?
It's a 6-inch, and Bardwell has a build video that will hold your hand through the whole damn thing. It would be a great way for you to start.
Tyro 119.
Yeah, and it comes with GPS, and it has a here's another reason. It does have a flight controller board that has a barometer on it, and that's
so for altitude hold.
For iNav, you need a barometer. So in order to turn this Tyro 119 into an iNav quad, which you might, once you get into Betaflight, you start learning it, and you say, you know, it would be cool to have a quad with all the navigation features, waypoint following, return to home, auto land, and yet I click a switch and I'm flying an FPV quad.
A bat out of hell.
Yeah, that's cool. I wanted to show that 119 is like the one uses the same flight controller as the 129, so you can build it, and it's a 6-inch quad, but you can put 5-inch props on it if you want
There
to.
you go.
It'll work.
Yeah. See?
I wanted to show you this. This is a this here. I've shown this before. Is the goggles feed from my Tyro 129. Here I was in like altitude hold. So if you can see down, let me get myself out of the way. It says down at the bottom RTH, and it says en route to home. Can you see all that?
Yep.
Yep.
And it's just chugging away, and all these different numbers. I mean, I loaded up this screen because I wanted to, in testing this thing, I wanted to know
You got
everything that was going
16 satellites, and you're flying. It shows you the direction you're going, shows you your channel that you're on.
GPS, distance from home. Now I'm over the home point. You notice there.
Yep. So it's got 0 distance from home.
And a little flag instead of an arrow, and it says landing up in the middle, and the
that's
altitude
awesome.
is over on the right. So it's 27, 23, 22, 21, 15, 14, and this is all hands off, and yet this is an acro quad that you can get up and just rip through trees and do whatever you want with it. There it is. It just landed as gently as you please.
No, you sold me. I'm going to build a Tyro. I also think that would be cool video content, just kind of to make the counterpoint to Bardwell's or your type of video where I'm going to run into a lot more problems, I suspect being newer at this. And so, like, here's the things that if you don't know much about this to look out for,
You'll find that it's pretty easy. You'll find it easy because it's mostly plug and play.
Okay.
Mostly plug and play, and you'll find that it'll be. You'll learn a lot.
Does it come with a receiver, or is you have to put a separate receiver in?
Yeah, it doesn't come with a receiver. It does come with a video camera, and I think they're putting a Cadex Ratel in those things now, or a halfway decent camera, much better than they used to. But for the money, for a little over $100, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Roosevelt, you see a comet?
No, still too bright.
The sky is blue though. It's really blue.
Yeah, what is? No, that's an
sky,
airplane.
It just looks really really pretty sky. Could turn your what do you iPad or whatever you're using around? It's funny actually. The first time I remember Roosevelt, before I even met you at Spin Up, I remember you had a full-size iPad on a stand, like you were using that to take pictures, you were making videos, you were chatting on it. I mean, you were using that thing like a power user.
That's what I'm on now. My iPad Pro is 12.9 inch.
Wow. So that, like you're kind of an iPad power user.
Yep, that's me.
No,
well, we've been ignoring everybody in the chat here, and I hope they don't hate me for that. Let me say, Mike Night Train is here. How you doing, buddy? Drone Days is here. Ed, love my drones. Joe Blaylock, Ludsat 1, Jim, Above and Beyond Drones.
What happened to Kelly?
Who else? Well, I'm talking about in the chat.
No, he's frozen though.
Kelly froze.
Oh,
Yeah,
Kelly,
he
are you
froze.
frozen? Or is he playing Ken Heron on us?
He's pretty solid.
He's not playing
I don't
pigeon
know.
jerky.
Hey,
I don't know. He's froze.
Mitch,
Kelly, you froze up.
Mitch, I'm going to have to skedaddle here. I got to get
All right, Art.
ready for bed.
All right, buddy. Thanks for coming in.
Art,
Hey,
have a
you're
good
welcome.
week, buddy.
You
See you later,
good to
Art.
see you.
guys have a great evening, and Roosevelt, good luck on the comet, and everybody in the chat. Catch you next time.
See you later.
Okay.
Take it easy, Art. Good talking to you
Bye
again.
bye.
You're still here.
I'm still here.
He's still here.
Okay.
All right.
Ah,
You're
oh,
still
what
here.
happened? Oh, here's.
Hear it.
Hey, sorry guys, I don't know why my internet just dropped out for a minute, but
Yeah,
I'm
I saw
back.
that. You were. Everybody said Kelly's
Everybody's
frozen. I
like,
said no,
"You're
he's not. He's
frozen."
playing. He's playing Ken Heron.
Ken Heron.
Hey, Mitch. Mitch,
Yeah.
I buy this little old bird and put it together. What radio goes with it?
Well, the radios that everybody's buying, the
That's a
transmitter.
sales
that-
pitch right there. Well, let me tell you.
Yeah. The transmitter.
Click on
of
my affiliate
choice.
link.
Yeah, exactly.
No. The transmitter of choice right now is not the one that I have here, which is the Jumper T16, but the Radio Master T16S. From what I've seen, it's exactly the same as this, but a little different. The guys that started Jumper, they split up. And the second guy went off and said, I can make mine a little better than yours, but identically it's the same
like
radio.
when
But there
Twix
are
split.
some features, there are a few little features in the Jumper, in the Radio Master, and they're brand new. They just came out. It's pre-ordered and everywhere. You can't get them yet. Come in, focus.
Gotcha.
But the Radio
I like
Master,
that.
and what makes them such great radios is they have every feature that these $1,000 Futabas and Spectrums have. And they're the radio is $139.
What's
With
the
a-
advantage of that over a FR Sky? Yeah.
The FR Sky has been not playing nice with the other children. They've become very predatory and very mercenary. When Jumper came out with their radio,
Because
they
Jumper will
wrote
do
letters.
different protocols, right?
Correct. It's a different thing. But here's what happened, and what kind of soured me on Free Sky was that they actually gave an ultimatum to all of their dealers that if you sell the Jumper radio, we're pulling your dealership.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that
Yeah,
same thing.
and-
Maybe it was
and-
from you or from somebody else, but I've heard that.
And what they're doing now is they're making their firmware so ridiculously proprietary because they don't want people with these multi-protocol modules to be able to bind to their radios. They want you to have to. Well, that's nonsense. It's all open source stuff. It all runs OpenTX, which is open source firmware on the radios.
Right.
So I still use the Free Sky R9, which is this red module in the back. It's a 915 megahertz, like Crossfire, 10-mile range.
So you have to have that
Transmitter.
on your Jumper for it to work with FR Sky.
Right, it's an external module.
Right.
This is a Free Sky module. This is an FR Sky, but Crossfire is a similar thing. So when I switch to Crossfire, I need to get a different receiver in the quad, a Crossfire receiver, and then plug the Crossfire module into this bay. And interestingly enough, this bay is called a JR module bay. And JR was the biggest radio manufacturer 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
They're the predecessor to Spectrum, and you've heard of Spectrum.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they still call this the JR module. And when I was flying the turbine jets, we only used the JR radios, the big 10Xs. They were $1,000 for the friggin' transmitter.
But the question that I have, to kind of jump onto Chris's question is, if I am primarily Free Sky, like most of my quads bind with Free Sky. If I get the Jumper, I have to get that module, and then I can bind with those.
No. The module is only for the R9, the 900. If you're flying 2.4 gigahertz, like the D16 or the D8.
Oh, it's just for longer range?
Yeah, this is an add-on that has nothing to do with the 2.4 gigahertz module that your Free Sky radio has. So basically, you just go into the screen and you'd say, okay, I got a Free Sky receiver. It's a D16, and it'll bind to it.
Okay. So Jumper, that's one of the advantages, and it'll bind with Spectrum as well.
It'll bind with Spectrum. It'll bind with Futaba. It'll bind even with Walkera, with all the toy drone crap that's out there. Hundreds and hundreds of different.
Woo.
models.
Okay.
You'll be able to you can buy.
Well, yeah,
and not only that,
because this I have several of these Devention radios. Is this is Walkera, or is this?
Yeah. I
or
don't
is
know
this
what that
Spectrum?
is.
Well, this is what
I
came.
don't
This is
know.
actually what came bound with that drone I was showing you earlier.
Oh, okay. Hard to say what the protocol DSM.
DSMX.
There's so many different so many different protocols. But if this tells you anything, Joshua Bardwell is flying this radio, the Jumper T16, as he calls his daily driver with a crossfire module in it.
Okay.
But he has to bind to other drones for testing. But they send him this Radio Master T16S, and that's going to be his new daily driver.
So basically, it's just an upgraded version of the Jumper T16.
It's the same. Yeah, it's basically the same radio. It's got a higher quality roller wheel here.
Okay.
It's all metal. They had some ribbon cables inside that went to the switches. I never had any trouble with mine, but some people did. Well, they replaced them with regular wire instead of ribbon cables.
But you can't get a hold of that new version currently. It's on back
you will
order.
be able, yeah, but it's a matter of a week or two before everybody's going to have it in stock.
Okay.
They came up with a mod for this so you could internally charge the battery, and I put it in mine, and it works great. So now when I plug it into computer to fly the simulator, it'll
charge.
the battery.
Oh, nice,
yeah.
nice.
The Radio Master T16S has USB-C in the bottom.
You can just plug it in and charge it.
Yeah,
and the battery is changeable. Is it just like a little 2S?
The battery goes into a bay in the back. This thing here happens to have a little carrier with two lithium-ion 18650 cells in it.
Oh, okay. That's the same thing that I use in my Fat Shark batteries.
But yeah, it'll take. But you can put a 2S lithium cell in here, pack 2. You know, any 2S will do.
Okay.
So and that just opens up like that. So I love the radio, and I've got an almost brand new QX7S. The more I paid $180 for it. You know, it's the more expensive version of the QX7, but I don't. It's wider. It's a wider radio. It's clunkier feeling. This is a ripoff of a Futaba.
Which was
case,
top of the line.
The case, yeah, but the case and the case layout and the hand feel of this radio is what I've been flying. It reminds me of what I've been flying with for 50 years. So for me, this feels like a real RC radio in my hands instead of all these strange-looking game controller-like things. I know you like that light thing. I
have the XT Lite. I have the XT Lite, and I fly all my tiny whoops with it, and I love it.
I can't get used to that. I can't get used to that because I'm a pincher. I'm a pincher.
See, I'm a thumber. I'm a thumber.
Oh Lord, we got a pincher in the house.
I am a pincher, man. I am a pincher.
Chris, what are you?
I do a little. My right, I catch myself pinching with my right hand and thumbing with my left.
I'm just all like this.
I'm all thumbs.
Yeah. I'm all thumbs, dude.
I'm a gamer, so
because you need your finger for other stuff is kind of like the this.
I learned on this, and that's how I fly a drone, man.
Yep.
Like I just
I don't know about that Xbox garbage, but PlayStation.
Yeah, I got a PlayStation 2, so I don't.
You can't have both.
I can't discriminate. So I had both. The only reason I have an Xbox is because it has Halo. I gotta have Halo, man. Everything else I can do on the PlayStation, but I gotta play Halo.
I got
There's nothing wrong with having four, Stevie.
So Kelly, you haven't been hanging around me for much until today or recently, but I don't know if you know what about my background in RC, in actual RC.
I know
flying.
I know you have been doing this a long time, and no, what's your background?
Let's just say he used to fly for the president. That's all we're gonna say.
No, but close to it. No, competed at world-class scale RC championship level with turbine engine jets. Okay,
So,
which
so,
is-
so actually
like the
burning
stuff
burning
they
fuel.
actually use.
yeah,
the
burning jet fuel.
fuel
I'm going to show you,
in
and I'm
real
going to
planes.
show you. I'm going to show you real quick here. This was from a video that was made at Top Gun, which is an international invitational tournament
that you,
they hold
Mitch?
every year. That's me in the hat. Yep.
Wow,
that's me
you
right
look so
in the
young
hat.
there.
Well, I was young there. I mean, this was 20. This was maybe, yeah, this was 2000, year 2000 or 2001. This was 20 years ago, but.
This year's Top Gun. Mitch, this is a very nice F-100. Tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. Thank you. This is a Vietnam camo
Well, you don't sound
F-100
any different.
during the Vietnam era.
No, it's still me.
The kit is from Bob Violet Models. It's all fiberglass and
Whoops.
composite. It's got an AMT USA AT280 SP engine, turbine engine that turns about 32 pounds of thrust. Canopy operates, the leading edge slats operate, flaps operate, speed brake operates. It has a retractable tail hook, skid back there, has a tail hook underneath.
How much does it weigh?
It weighs 34 pounds dry, carries about 8 pounds of fuel.
About how many flights do you have on it?
This has 9 flights on it.
9 flights.
9 flights on it, yes.
Very good.
And 3 more
Do
to
you
go this
still
weekend.
have that, Mitch?
All right, well, thank you very much,
No,
Mitch.
no,
Good
no.
luck.
I still have one. I still have one
There were 4 of
turbine,
these Husky F100 jets.
Wow.
at Top
but not
Gun
this
year.
one. No,
One
I
an
sold
expert,
this.
One a designer, and 2 in the team class.
So wait, give us
Mitch
an
Weiss
idea
had
of
the
the
only one
scale.
done in a
How,
Vietnam
I mean, that
War
looks huge. How big is it?
This is the second
7
Top Gun
feet
he's
long.
flown, and he finished
Wow.
in 5th place.
Wow.
But what brought this video to mind is I think you can actually see that I'm thumbing. I mean, pinching. See,
Yes,
right
you
there,
are.
pinching.
We see you.
Pinching.
We see you.
Let's run that replay again. Let's look at that fabulous pinching
And he finished in
action
5th
here.
place.
I think if I graduated to something that size, I might pinch as well.
Ken Heron would be proud.
Let's freeze the video and actually. I wish I could zoom in. I can't zoom in on it. Zoom in on
No,
the pinching.
you can perfectly see that. You are
On the pinching action.
no doubt.
Now, this guy that was standing next to me, listen to the sound of that.
That sounds like a real freaking
It
jet.
sounds.
It is a real
It is a real jet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just pilotless or not a pilot in it, unmanned. So you get 5th place in this?
I
that what
took
he said?
5th place, yeah.
So did first place, was he a thumber?
No. There was no such thing as a thumber. in
1
this
through 4
hobby.
were thumbers?
No thumbers. No thumbers. These were the top guys in the world. In fact, when I was kind of new to the competition, I came in there and grabbed 5th place and pissed off
Kind
everybody.
of a great looking airplane, yeah, isn't it?
I just pissed off everybody.
Man, I gotta hand it to the cameraman who shot this because
Yeah,
He's a
really.
professional.
Almost nails the
yeah,
second
yeah,
one.
but he did a heck of a job following you.
Look at this, man.
Good job, Mitch.
Look
Great
at that
job.
damn airplane. God,
Yeah.
that brings it back. I can't afford to do shit like that anymore. No, I can't.
Wow.
Not even close. Not even close. That was back.
See, us
when I was making
thumbers,
some money.
I got some different
Oh, you got
knobs
the
for
big
my
thing.
controller.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of makes sense. It gives you a little more surface area to
More
work with.
stability
Yeah.
too.
Because I will say that the disadvantage of thumbing is every so often I do kind of like drop something. I'll
Yep.
be going along and I'll lose it for a second. But I don't know, man. It just to me this just feels more. And again, I think it's because
if you're a gamer, you're gonna thumb. It's just automatic.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's good.
absolutely.
I didn't come up
Part of
that
the
way.
story.
I didn't come up
Well,
that way.
Atari, you'd be a hander, right?
So
This-
you need
yeah.
this would be Atari
what's
style
the
here.
thing, the
Yeah,
thing that the
right.
NASA guys came up with, you'll use that.
Oh no, that was the biggest bust in the world. The Aviator.
The
The
Aviator.
Oh, yeah.
Aviator.
But that's why I like this radio so much. It feels like an old friend. It feels
Yeah.
like what I've been flying with all my life because it's a Chinese stolen They probably copied the molds off of a $1,000 Futaba radio.
Well, Futaba was Chinese as well, right? Or
I think
or
Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
Japanese. Yeah, and so was JR. In fact, the name JR means
Japan radio?
Japanese radio.
Japanese,
Yeah,
right.
that's what it means.
Oh.
But we were all we had was, and Horizon Hobby was the biggest JR dealer.
Well,
in the
because
world,
Horizon
and they
now
became
is all Spectrum, right? The
Yeah.
Horizon hobby stuff is all like the.
And I know I haven't seen him in years, and I can't even remember. But Eric, the guy that owns Horizon Hobbies, I used to hang out with him at these big RC events. We were all in like the same crowd of people. And God, what the hell was Eric's last name? Nicest, down to earth guy. I mean, he owns the whole mess, and you know how huge they are in the hobby business.
Yeah.
But they're all Spectrum now.
I said
but
the
of course,
same thing about Kelly the other night. Like, when we first had the very first spin up, like I was like, oh my God, this guy's a superstar. He's on YouTube. And then I got to talking to him, and I was like, oh, he's just a normal guy like us.
Here I am.
Each with his fingers and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick my nose when I'm not on camera.
right.
Pick and flick.
I'm getting a kick out of watching Mel with his airplane.
Oh yeah.
adventures.
So I don't know if you know, but Mel and I are doing.
I saw
I
that.
have that same airplane, so we're gonna. Oh, well, he sent me a bunch of footage tonight. I haven't downloaded it yet.
He
but,
did. He showed us. He showed us some of it on his stream tonight.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Of
So
them
the
flying.
idea is.
But that's a great looking little airplane, and it's stable. I mean, it flies itself pretty much because it's fully stabilized.
Well, it's got just like a quad. It's got a fully stabilized. It's got like a horizon mode, and then it's got an acro mode where there's no stabilization. And it's very flyable in the acro mode. But when you stabilize it, I mean, you just really have to kind of like do some nice easy banks, and it's small. And I don't know if you've seen this, but it has this this device on the prop where the prop pops off instead of breaking, and then you can just pop it right back on.
Oh, no kidding. Well, it's
kind of
small.
spring loaded. Yeah, it's a cool little. As a matter of fact, my goal, I didn't do it today. I went out flying this morning. I did my 10 packs this morning with my rocket, and I was going to fly that little Mustang with the Insta360 Go on it. I just couldn't find a good way to mount it. So I need to find a good way to mount the Insta360 Go on it, and then I'm going to do that.
Wouldn't that be a little heavy for that little thing?
It's 20 grams. I think it'd be fine if it was if it was in the center. If I mounted it somewhere where it didn't throw the
you can
center.
try it.
Yeah.
Have you ever flown?
Look on
have you flown
Look on Thingy, I think it's thingy.com or whatever, where you get the
Thingiverse?
Yeah,
Thingiverse.
Thingiverse.
3D
Oh, they make
print stuff?
mounts,
Yeah.
different mounts. Yep. That's a good idea.
Have
I
you
ever
ever
flown
flown
what, Mitch?
fixed? Have you fixed airplanes? RC airplanes?
Yeah. So that was how I started. My dad and I built a couple of them. We built a Corsair. That was more his plane. And we built a SIG Scamp, which was a high. I don't know if you remember that, but it was a high wing. Had a glow plug and a gas powered engine. And
So you can fly. You know how to fly an RC airplane.
yeah,
Line of
decently.
sight.
Okay,
good.
Decently. Yeah.
Because
No,
I had gotten out of it. I had gotten out of it for, because you get bored with stuff, and the club, the AMA club, was full of a bunch of crotchety old farts that were a pain in the ass to be around, and I just got tired of it. So, I started going elsewhere. I started flying helicopters and RC helicopters, and then I got into drones and everything. But I've just kind of rediscovered fixed wing again.
Yeah.
And I'm building, and now I'm building these wings and planes with iNav controllers in them.
And with the FPV on them, right?
FPV, yeah. And I just test flew this thing, maidened it yesterday.
Yeah.
So
And it's a little
that was great. That
Zod,
thing flew
Do you
great,
know,
man.
do you know
little Zod drift. It's fabulous.
Drone Camps RC? Any of you guys
Oh
watch
yeah,
Drone Camps?
yeah. I don't know him personally. I know of him.
So yeah, same here. It's weird. There's a few channels. There's a few drone channels like Drone Camps. Justin, I know his name's Justin. I don't know him either. And then there's like, do you guys ever watch Remote Pilot 101? This guy in Arizona, he's been on forever.
That's Jason. That's Jason. You talk about Jason Schabbard or what?
No,
Remote
I'm
Pilot
not Remote Pilot. Quadcopter 101.
Quadcopter.
No, I haven't seen
Quadcopter
him.
101. He's been on longer than me. he never shows his face. He always starts with like a point of view camera where he's holding the thing up, and then he does a test flight. Anyway, I have never seen him in a chat, and I'm not upset about that. It's just there are these guys like drone camps also who kind of stay out of because
The
I feel
main
like this community,
the mainstream.
They're not in the
no,
community.
actually, I know
and
who
you
you're
got
talking
you got
about.
Andrew, you got Andrew Kim, and there's a whole bunch of these guys with 100,000 plus subscribers that review RC stuff.
Yeah, Andy RC over in England.
Andy RC, Kim.
Anyway, I find it interesting that there's these guys that they're sort of, I watch them all the time. Like I've started watching Justin on drone camps because he's great, and that was actually the first review of the Gep RC I ever saw was on his channel.
He's a good flyer too.
The rocket.
Good pilot too.
Yeah,
He's a good pilot.
Anyway, it's interesting. My hope would be to get to know some of those guys a little better. I reached out to I don't know if you guys ever watch Steve with Captain Drone up in Canada.
Yeah, I watch him. Yeah, I watch him.
Love that guy.
Yeah, he's actually speaking. He's going to do a presentation at Spin Up. So
cool.
and he's another guy I had never communicated with and just kind of reached out to, and he said love to, and we've been in touch since then. But yeah,
there's only so many hours in a day, is there?
but I first saw that plane on drone camps. That's I saw Justin flying that plane.
I've got this thing right now all up with a battery. It weighs 270 grams. And it's got a 1200 TVL FPV camera, a 350 milliwatt Rush Tiny Nano VTX, a Maytech Wing F411 flight controller in it, GPS, and I'm going to put two 18650 lithium ion cells in this.
I've never guessed you'd find it.
Which will give 3,500 milliamps and give this thing about an hour and a half in the air.
Wow, because it's so
and
light.
It's got the long range receiver.
Is it a foam material?
It's foam with carbon fiber spars, but it's so tiny. And I just posted a video of the maiden.
Oh yeah, that thing flew great. I watched that video. That was incredible.
That was the first flight, and that was a line of sight. That was just I didn't even I wasn't looking. I didn't see that.
You just recorded the goggles.
I just threw it and
for the video.
Flew figure eights around just to get it trimmed out and everything.
Flew great. I seen
now
it.
I got it trimmed. I got it all trimmed out. I have made the changes in iNav that I want to make, and tomorrow morning, if it's not real windy, I'm gonna take it out. I don't have the batteries for it, so I've got some 2S. I flew that last flight with a 3S and a little 3-inch prop, but I'm going to fly it with 2S and the 5-inch prop. See, that's another example, Kelly, where you can, because of the KV of the motor, you can fly it with 2 or 3S. But if you fly it with 3S, it's going to be turning much faster, and it needs a different prop, smaller prop.
So do you find, because I've had one pusher before, do you find that it tends to, when you take off or when if you hand launch it, does it tend to nosedive a little bit if you give it too much throttle?
If that's a truly just solely a design factor of the airplane, any airplane. If when you give it power, it climbs or dives, that generally the thrust angle of the motor needs to be adjusted. And a lot of guys will shim the motors up or down if that happens.
Okay, I have a pusher that.
Now I can see the stars.
Oh, you see the Big Dipper?
Oh yeah, I gotta find him.
Oh man, I've never flown a wing, but I've always wanted to.
This is probably this is the AR wing, Sonic model, 900 millimeter wing. It's got a motor that's like. This is a 3 to 4S, but it's got a motor that's 3 times the size of that little tiny thing, and it weighs 3-4 times as much. But it's got all the flight controller and all the garbage in here, and this has got a place up here for a GoPro. You just stick the GoPro up in here.
Oh, nice.
And they're with iNav. They're a lot of fun. You can rip them around and you fly them around in acro mode, and then click the return to home switch, and it just comes comes back and circles overhead until you want to land it. And
Wow.
the nice thing about that is you got an analog video feed and a radio with a 10-mile range. So what are you going to lose first? You're going to lose your goggles. So it's very comforting to know that if you lose your goggles, you just hit return to home, and it comes
Absolutely.
back. And on the way back, you'll get your goggles back. But these things are fun, and I've just rediscovered it.
Does the Little Dipper and the Big Dipper have the same amount of stars? It's just the bigger is bigger.
I think so.
Because
Are you the dark blotch that I can't, the black screen there? Is that you? Yeah.
I see one of the dippers. I'm just not sure which one it is.
Is it little or big?
It looks little to me.
It's probably, you know what? They're both big, actually. You know,
That's
they're
that's a
millions
great
of miles.
clue.
Are you looking northwest? How about that?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, looking northwest, that should be the Big Dipper.
Okay, but I don't see any. I don't see
And
the comet
the
yet.
comet
so.
should be just, if you're looking at the Big Dipper, it should be just lower left
Lower left.
of that
Well,
dipper.
that might. I don't know. It's pretty small, but there's something there. I don't see any kind of tail or anything, but
It would be hard to see like that quick. You'd have to like adjust your eyes to the
oh well. Let
sky
me
or
let me
whatever.
put this light down.
There might also be some issue with light pollution too, depending
Yeah.
on.
Oh yeah,
I
don't
think
we still
Roosevelt.
have?
If you're looking northwest, you're probably looking in the right
don't we
direction.
still have?
There's
the
an app
Sahara-
on your phone.
the
There's an
Sahara,
app for your cell
wind
phone.
Still here?
Night Sky. There's an app for your cell phone called Night Sky, or Google Sky, or something like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
you load the app and then you hold the phone up, and it shows you whatever as you move around. It shows you the
Oh yeah,
constellations
Chris has
that
it.
you're
Chris
looking
has
at.
it running right now.
and tells you where Saturn is and everything. Yeah,
And it works in your house, Chris. So that's pretty cool.
works wherever you can get a GPS signal. It doesn't use the camera; it only uses the GPS.
Oh, I see.
So you get a GPS signal in the house; it works fine.
Does it mention the comet, Chris?
Yeah,
Says
that
where
was
it
the
is?
comment.
Oh, it
yeah,
actually
we-
has the comet. Wow.
Well, I might go outside and see if I can see it.
You can try that, yeah. Well, I went way over tonight.
Yeah, this was fun. Thank you for the assistance and the advice. I am gonna definitely get the Tyro and give it a try, and then I'll see. My next step will be to see what I want to do with this guy. With the
Well, with that
it's-
thing,
it's got a lot of great components on it.
it does.
I've flown it
needs a
plenty of
controller.
times. It just needs a
It needs-
controller, and
Yeah.
I think it would be good to go. So
Absolutely. That's what we were saying, is that all this stuff is so interchangeable that if you got a frame and you got some motors and you got a couple of ES, you can just throw it all together and make a quad. It may not be the greatest performing quad. You may not win races with it, but that's not what I'm after. I just want to fly around and have
Too
some
bad
fun.
you can't do that with your body parts, right, Mitch?
Oh, tell me about it. Tell me about it. Yeah, it's getting old. It's for the birds.
That was a shot.
Well, Kelly,
I'm
it was a
out.
pleasure having you.
yeah, thanks
was-
guys.
was-
I appreciate
good
being
having you.
on.
And anytime, like I say, I got you on you guys are all on my list, so you always get a invite anytime you want to. No obligation, but anytime you want to come on.
Yeah.
love to have you. I'm
Much
trying to get Ken Hearn on here because he
That
could
man,
use.
he's so busy
could-
though.
But he told me, we kind of talked on one of the other streams about it. He said he'd like to, but he's never gotten around to it because he's afraid of beta flight. He's got beta flightophobia, And
Yeah, I
there's-
mean, beta flight's not the simple stuff in beta flight. Especially being able to set your ranges on your radio. Where stuff happens. To me, that's the key thing because
It
then
is.
you can switch the switches around. Again, I'm not an expert at it, but the basic stuff is pretty helpful to know how to do. So.
But people are afraid of it because they don't know it. See, and it isn't hard
Exactly right.
to understand. And once you begin to understand how
Well, that's
that
just human nature.
works, yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. I didn't know shit about beta flight when I first started, but I dug into it. Now I understand, all the CLI commands and all that intricate little stuff, and and that led me not be afraid of iNav, which is very similar but has a whole extended range of commands. iNav has auto launch, for example, and auto launch is without a doubt the coolest thing for a flying wing or something like that. You set up all the parameters in auto launch. You arm the quad in auto launch mode. You put the throttle up to where you want the power to be when the launch is finished. Meanwhile, the prop's not even turning yet. You take the thing and you heave it. It senses the acceleration and then starts the motor. Okay? So that you don't cut your hand up, especially with a flying wing when that pusher prop is going by. That's a problem. People cut their hands throwing it. Well, this thing is gone before the prop even starts. And then it sets the climb angle that you tell it. And it keeps the wings level, and it climbs for 5, 6, 7 seconds, however many seconds you have it set to. Meanwhile, you don't even have to have the transmitter in your hand. You just put the transmitter down, pick up the plane, and give it a heave. While it's doing its thing, you turn around, you go get the transmitter, get your goggles ready. And then if you have the return to home switch set at the same time, when it's done with its auto launch, it automatically goes into the return to home mode. So then it just starts circling above. So, I mean, if you got to go to the bathroom or something, you know, on the way to the bathroom, give the quad a heave, and when you come back, it's going to be there, just circling around waiting for you.
I think I've done that before. Gone to the bathroom while I had a quad in the air. You know, not really a best practice.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, this was a ton of fun.
Okay, Kelly. Good.
Not
Good
Kelly.
to see
Take
you.
care,
We'll
buddy.
see you around. Take care.
See you later.
I will
Okay,
see you later,
later.
and I will definitely update you when I get the Tyro and let you know how it goes.
Keep in touch. Keep in
All right,
touch.
take care.
Enjoyed having you. All right.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
See you,
All
Roddy.
right, who's left?
I'm gone.
Chris,
I'm out.
thanks for coming in, buddy. Always
Oh,
good to
thank
see you.
y'all. I got some
Hope-
tabs
hope-
open
hope
up
we
here
had
on my
it-
computer now, so.
I wish we could get Rick Halbert's little problem straightened out. But
Bye and chat,
Rick,
everybody.
take it
Take care.
easy. Hang in there. We'll get it working. Take care,
I'm about
Chris.
to bugger out too. I'm
All right,
a little
buddy.
hungry.
Thanks for coming in.
No
Good to
problem.
see you, man. Don't be a stranger, okay?
I won't.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Take it easy.
Ron, always good having you. Love your
Oh,
shirts,
yeah.
man.
I love
you're a
being
man
here.
after,
Hey, you
you're
and
a
me,
man
man.
after my own heart, man.
You got it, man. All day, every day. Hawaiian
Yes,
shirts,
sir.
man. We gotta love them.
Yeah.
All right, you take it
All right,
easy,
I will
Mitch.
see you. I will see you next time, and
Absolutely.
take care.
Take
care.
it easy,
And anybody? Well, still got a bunch of people left in here.
Yeah,
so
a lot of people in here.
Hate-
So, bye,
hate to
everybody in the
hate
chat.
to take care.
See you next time.
I hate to shut it down with all these people, but it is 10:30 and about a half hour over, and I'm kind of getting tired. So that was a good show tonight. Good show tonight. We managed to actually get to talk about a lot of technical stuff in airplanes and quads and fixed wings. And I'd like to thank my guests. I'd like to thank Art Carlson and Kelly Shores for coming in, and Chris Hope, Roosevelt, Fly Natural, and Ron, 3X Drones. Thank you guys. Thank you all for coming in. Rick Halber was here for a while, and unfortunately, Rick's having some problems getting that Velocidrone working. But email me, Rick, when you think you're onto something, and we'll see. We'll see if we can't figure out and actually get you up and running one of these days. And with that, I'm going to say goodnight. I got half a cigar left out. I hope it's still not ruined, but I'm going to go smoke it and wind down from this thing a little bit. Put on a little exit music. Say goodnight. Take the rest of the day off. Go play with your drones. Turn it over to my compadre here, Spank, the monkey. Say goodnight to the people, Spanky.